You buy this for $39.99, guess what, folks? You take the L away. You put a W there, baby. You're a winner, man. You're the real deal. You're picking up chicks. Let me tell you something. You buy this set at $39.99, baby, you're the cock of the walk, man. You walk into the bar and you just find the hottest chick and you go, you, me. Guess what? She says, why would I go out with you? Because I bought the deal on Wild West Deals for $39.99, that's why. She says, can I go home with you? That's how simple it is. That's how it works. That's what this set brings to the table. Because you know what she sees? She sees a man who knows what he wants. She sees a man who says, good deals don't get by me, baby. I move. I act quick. I act now. I go to wildwestdeals.com. Boom. That's why you're hanging with chicks all night long. That's why you got guys like Michael Jordan calling you, wanting to hang out with you, baby. Because you bought it for $39.99.
Is that Pokemon? It's...
Hello, I'm Clarence Claymore.
Shut the fuck up here.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, Clarence.
Those brutal words hurt my skin.
Look, Clarence, mate, it doesn't matter how many times we get beat down. What matters is that we get the fuck up, and we keep fucking trying. You're right, Donny. Now, who the fuck are you, mate? I'm Clarence Claymore. Who the fuck are you, mate? I'm Clarence Claymore. Say it with your fucking chest. I'm Clarence Claymore. Show me what you got, mate. Take that. Fucking touch me, cunt. Fuck, mate. We got a lot of work to...
Called investing.
Uh-oh. Oh,
this started with Papa John's Pizza years ago. He dropped the N-bomb years ago, and the stock of Papa John's plummeted on pure emotion. People are like, oh, it's terrible. People still like the pizza. The fundamentals didn't change. So I just bought the out of the stock. 2 days later, it was right back where it was.
Ooh, that's a smart move.
And I call it investing because of that. So I look for these emotional drops in stock. So the other day with the Cracker Barrel thing, it's like, no one really gives a shit about the rebranding. So the stock plummeted.
So
I jumped money in 2 days. It wasn't a big hit, but $2,000 in 2 days. I pulled out. It went back down. I'm like, fine. Investing works, people.
It's socially, what you just said was abhorrent, but fiscally wise.
Yes, I'm fiscally racist.
Pretty wise.
I'm very liberal, but I'm...
Help. Okay. Investing. Don't know what to do, what it is, but I need help. I need help.
Okay, so I would recommend, so me personally, I have 1.3 million in XRP. So right now it's about $2 and something cents, but the community knows that when I know it will bump up to $10, I'm going to be basically set for life. So I would highly recommend buying XRP. Why are you crying?
What the hell did you just say?
XRP.
I couldn't even understand what X could even stand for.
It doesn't stand for anything. It's just like, XRP doesn't stand for anything like explicitly. It's just like
I'm screwed. Crypto men, come this way. Help me.
Just put money into XRP and then you're set for life.
Put my money in it.
Or just spend it all. Whatever you want to do.
Well, will the IRS come after me if they won't come after me if I do that?
You haven't paid taxes in 2 years, so they're going to come after you anyway.
Not if I had my money in this XPR stuff. Right?
Yeah, you're right. Just do that.
I really think XRP could hit $10,000.
XRP definitely could hit $10,000. BlackRock is about to buy $9 trillion worth of XRP.
That's insane. Soulface, what do you think, bro?
Oh yeah, definitely 1,000% XRP is about to hit $10,000, especially because of them going after the SWIFT banking system.
Okay, Gabe, what do you think, bro?
Without a doubt, XRP to 10 bands, and the reason is XRP has intrinsic value. Bitcoin doesn't.
Okay, Mark, what do you think?
XRP $10,000? No question.
Okay, cool. Luke, what do you think?
Absolutely. Wisdom Tree just recently filed an ETF. It's going to go berserk.
Okay, cool. Sage, what do you think, bro?
I think XRP could 100% hit $10,000 simply if they just take over the SWIFT banking system, which will put their market cap well over 1.2 quadrillion.
Imagine selling now. Honestly, man. Fucking imagine it. Looking at your fucking kids in the eyes and being like, you know what? I'm real sorry, my youths. Daddy fucking went and got a sex change. You know what I mean? No more big dick. Daddy got a fat pussy now, okay? You're a fucking weakling. Fuck that, man. I can't look my children in the eyes knowing that daddy fucking sold on dumps. On fucking dumps, man. You fucking idiots. Who the fuck is selling? I don't know anyone selling. My team ain't selling. I know bag hunters ain't fucking selling. Gem hunters ain't selling. So who the fuck is selling? Michael Saylor buying. Grayscale buying. Elon Musk on the Tesla cash flow fund is buying. So who the fuck is selling? I tell you who's selling. Little weak-hand pussios that didn't even fucking want to be in this game anyway. Didn't understand it. I'm in it for the deck. Fuck off, mate. You ain't.
Good afternoon.
Is cash. Every day. Cream. Cash rules everything around me. I'm flexing. It's Friday. In the Lambo. About to go spend $1,000 on dinner. Spend $20,000 in the club. Fuck 3 bitches. And I'll wake up tomorrow richer than I woke up today.
Money when you buy. You don't make money when you sell. Every time the world goes tits up and everything goes fucked up, I smile because days like today are days I've made money. I'm actually cash poor. First time in my life I'm poor. I have like 100 grand for the weekend. That's it. But it's fine because I know in the future Jah will bless me and I might have to buy another 812 super fast. Anyway, point is, if you're watching this and you have any kind of money, don't be a bitch. Scared money doesn't make money. Invest it.
Nobody knows about that fucking degenerate life when you're fucking down 40,000 and you battle the fuck back. You say, you know what? I'm a fucking strong, independent man. And you're not gonna tell me I should go to bed. I'm gonna battle the fuck back. And I'm gonna fucking get my money back. And guess what? I got my motherfucking money back. That's right.
But when you go all in on something, I would say that does take conviction. Now, your conviction might be
How many
coming from
chairs are you
personal-
sitting on right now?
One.
Are you all in on the chair? The point really is you put on one pair of glasses. You've got one pair of AirPods right now. You're looking at me through one screen. You're using one microphone. That's a one microphone. Like, you trust it? Is that conviction? Seems kind of scary. Why don't you diversify? Why don't you use 10 microphones? The point really is things in your life. Do you drive in 10 cars at the same time or one car at one time? Do you drive down one street? Aren't you afraid that you're driving down one street? Do you take a different way? You know? So my point really is, if you're you get on one airplane, are you convicted? You put your entire family on the one airplane, aren't you afraid? Well, I said, well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay, what's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? Right? There's no second best, okay? But take all your money, buy Bitcoin. Then take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin. Then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin. And if you absolutely love the thing that you don't want to sell it, go mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with it. And if you've got a business that you love because your family works for the business that's in your family for 37 years and you can't bear to sell it, mortgage it, finance it, and convert the proceeds into the hardest money on.
What is going on, you guys? It is Dollar Cost Crypto here with Fed Cut Breakdown. We had what do you know? Jerome folded. It is assassination season, apparently. So we've just gotten a 25 basis point cut. Incredible. But even more breaking news, XRP and Dogecoin ETFs have gone live. And in honor, well,
I really think SRP could hit $10,000.
XRP definitely could hit $10,000. BlackRock is about to buy $9 trillion worth of XRP.
That's insane. Soulface, what do you think, bro?
Oh yeah, definitely 1,000%. XRP is about to hit $10,000, especially because of them going after the Swift banking system.
Okay, what do you think, bro?
Without a doubt, XRP to 10 bands. And the reason is XRP has intrinsic value. Bitcoin doesn't.
Okay, Mark, what do you think?
XRP $10,000? No question.
Okay, cool. Luke, what do you think?
Absolutely. Wisdom Tree just recently filed an ETF. It's going to go berserk.
Okay, cool. Sage, what do you think, bro?
I think XRP could 100% hit $10,000 simply if they just take over the Swift banking system, which will put their market cap well over 1.2 quadrillion.
Quadrillion. I figured, bro. But welcome, you guys. Caffeinated and not intoxicated. Hey, I had one of my videos talk about how much coffee I used to drink. So it was like, they're like, dude, why don't you just use rich people drugs?
Just shoot up.
I was trying to get rich, dog. I was trying. What do you mean? You were trying to use rich people drugs? I was trying to get rich, bro. They're gonna come out at some point. I'm not saying this now, but fuck it. 15 years from now, I wouldn't be shocked to come out. People like they're gonna say people who take Adderall are 47 times more likely to get dementia and Alzheimer's. Or they'll say something short like that, or they'll find out something, but probably not.
Why are all the links purple?
Tell me why all my crackheads are still out here in the streets. Tell me, Miguel. But early stream today because we have shit to do. The Crypto Mindset course is launching tomorrow.
Yeah.
Be sure to check us out on our channels as well as on Fresh and Fit. We'll be on Fresh and Fit as well on the 22nd. We're going to be doing interviews with Rollo Tomasi. Just about everyone who's everyone in the red pill, basically.
Yes,
and a whole host of other interviews as well. I've got guests coming on from the Cryptoverse. They're going to be interviewed both on me and Charlie's channel. People on Ozempic. I heard that causes I've heard like weird stuff about like it causes, besides muscle loss, it causes like people to get like their veins start looking pretty crazy on their feet. It's like this is mostly a problem for women or whatever, but that's just at least what I've heard. But pretty insane, man. Investing, that is right. Well, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm going to be reacting to basically the Fed breakdown in a minute. I'm going to go over a little bit of the crypto news. But yeah, man, we got the Dogecoin ETF. I said this is going to happen. And I think we've entered a season right now. You know, we're starting to get things pumped. CZ is back at the helm at BNB. He's now showing his version of Hyperliquid, and he's big mad because Hyperliquid started taking some market share from Binance, and they said no mas. Now, there is another thing too as well. So now this is just hearsay here, so take this with a grain of salt, but possibly some of the tech being used on Binance's stuff comes from Flying Tulip. Is there a Andre BNB collab happening a little bit in the background? I've heard whispers. Looking leaner. Yeah, I'm getting leaner, dog. Did leg day today, but didn't do cardio because fuck that. I'll do cardio tonight. But yeah, just because people keep asking me, yeah, do cardio, dogs. Yeah, you don't gotta. I mean, I probably don't. I wouldn't say run, especially if you're over like 240. Don't fucking run.
Yeah,
but walk at an incline at a moderate pace. But
everything.
A lot of the tech that I'm seeing on Aster, which I don't think that's the best name in the world, honestly. No. But hey, whatever. CZ 4 billion 4 months, right? He's now officially back at the helm at BNB, and he's talking his shit. My screen's not even up. Let me pull up my screen, Kyle. But don't post it just yet. Yeah, you got it. We're not fooling, man. But you know, BNB just recently joined the 10,000 X club. It's very. Let me see. Go ahead, put my screen up, Kyle. So there we go. So CZ from Binance says, watching BNB go from 10 cents, the ICO price 8 years ago, to today over $1,000 is something I can't explain. She did very well. Now, obviously, that cheapness disappeared, obviously, in 16 and 17. But I think, actually, it may have been 17, actually. And, you know, people forgot that, you know, Luna, FTX got folded by Binance. Three Arrows Capital was really the catalyst originally, but he went and diced them all up. So, you know, congratulations to the guys at BNB. Now he's coming after Hyperliquid, taking those guys down. And guess what? Flying Tulip's also coming down too. So Hyperliquid's got competition in the market, you guys. And CZ's got the exchange side so locked up that good luck, dogs. I think Hyperliquid's going to do well, but I don't think Hyperliquid's going to grow as fast anymore, unless the market's just going bananas, which then all of them are going to go up high. I'm glad Binance is here, yeah. And other news, EHex is doing very well. 30% of it. We went from a tenth of a penny, so $1,000 buys you 1 million hex. EHex, engorged hex. Now 3,100 is needed to buy that same million. Shout out to all my EHex holders. There's a lot of closeted EHexers out here now. I'm not closet. I'm out here in the open now. And kind of what I've been saying for a while too, or like at least for the last couple streams, is like the whole PDI debacle and all the and all these, like, I mean, by PDI sucking so bad for so long, or at least all the drama and stuff, it's kind of cheapened the word P in the ecosystem a little bit. I mean, that would be nice. Hex stake 555. That's why I never faded EHex. No, but at the same time, I didn't fade PHex either. I don't know why people did, you know. I always just look for value and see like, oh, it's cheap right now. The marketing push, like 20,000 units of propaganda are being shipped every single day into the foreseeable future. You know, I think this is going to have a very good knock-on effect. And most people are very lazy, and they'll just probably buy it on Ethereum. Also, you know, of course, it's being purchased. There's a lot. I see the transactions. I see people selling Pulse Chain. I see people selling PHex for EHex. I see it. That's happening.
See the green candle buyers.
I'm going to buy all your EHex at all-time highs, guys. Just wait, hold for now.
Winner mentality.
Winner mentality, man. But let me see if I can. Give me 1 second, Kyle. Where the fudge is it? But yes, we've gone live. So XRP and Jesus Christ, yeah. XRP and that, yeah. Where the hell is it? You can share this. You share my screen for 1 second. So this is Eric right here. This guy is a senior ETF analyst at Bloomberg. And semi-shock XRP ETF XPP is already at 24 million in volume. That's way more than I would have thought. For context, that's 5 times more than any XRP futures. Yeah, well, futures suck, dude. Let's stop. Like, let's like your futures blue. But you know, hey, it's open. That's good, man. I mean, obviously the data is brand new today. I still haven't seen any data just yet on the Doge inflows, but I'm pretty sure by later tonight we're gonna have some numbers, maybe like the Doge numbers and stuff. I mean, let's look at where we're at right now. XRP, where is it at? It's up a little bit, right? Not surprised, limp dicking. I'm pretty sure there's people selling XRP with the extra volume. 23 million more dollars to sell, you say?
Oh.
Huh. Wow. And it won't crash the price? Doge is up 11, is up a little bit today, basically, but 28 cents. It's not bad. I think over time, I think this is going to start heading up. Now, these listings are kind of like I wouldn't say like the A-tier listings, but it is nice that they got passed, basically. Yeah. So first mover market, they're gonna have a good little chunk there. So Doge, I think with this, I think we're about to enter a bit of a meme season. DC, do you see options or structured products to hedge your crypto? Wait, to hedge your crypto or generate cash flow? Not for cash flow, for hedging, sure, of course, but like I've mostly used some of these products mostly just to speculate on future prices and stuff, just to make some extra cash. That's mostly how I use them, not for like short term like downwards trends and stuff. So it's like if I think let's just say I think Ethereum is going to hit like 6,000 by like in the next 3 months, I could buy things like that and make some money on that. That's mostly what I would probably use it for. But for hedging and stuff, not really, not too much and stuff. I guess you could short a little bit, but what's the fucking point? One thing that I've always noticed with people is just they always are trying to figure out a way to just yield on the cap. Like you just got to make multiples on your capital, or make 30, like making a correct investment and then being up 40% is just going to pay much more dividends than mailbox 3%. I had a question yesterday about like, Miguel, in the bear market, like should I put I'm gonna put all my money into like, I don't know, like what? I'm gonna put all my money into basically the dividend aristocrats. Well, if that's gonna be like you're gonna keep 80% of the capital there for a long time, I'm like, okay, that could be a strategy, sure. But like the income you generate off that's not that much unless it's like a significant, like unless you got $3 million in there, like okay, you might generate like $90,000 to like $110,000 in income on $100,000 a year, or on $3 million. Okay, sure, or you just wait till the next dip, buy the Bitcoin and Ethereum lows, and then within a year and a half, that 3 million turns to 9. 200,000 in 2 years, 6 million. It's because people are always scared of not having money coming in, Yeah, you put it up there. I would love to show you how big players market making their tokens. Foundations are making 30% APR selling options. So yeah, I mean that's for like kind of bigger players and stuff like that, or people who are pretty much largest token holders or just institutional players and stuff. Sure, but the average guy makes more money just buying at a great price. I mean, you make money when you. I mean, it is that Tate meme there. You make money when you buy. It's sort of like when you make the most money on a house is whatever price you purchase it in. Yep. That's the truth for most people. You make more because like in order for that like that to be significant, first you need to have that capital. You need to have that loose capital and stables essentially, and then you need to then apply that capital. Now, obviously, if you guys are portfolios already large in the millions and millions and millions, this becomes more applicable to you. But as your portfolio is smaller, you have to go more high risk or more concentrated in actual coin plays and stuff, and then go with the market beta and stuff, which becomes basically alpha because most people are scared to buy the lows, basically. You know. Now, obviously, the reason the foundations are trying to do that is because they have all this coin supply. So, like if I have a ton of, let's just say, for example, like I'm the Ethereum Foundation, like why wouldn't I lend out a bunch of Ethereum, not all of it, but a decent amount, in order just to bring income in without putting sell pressure. But the Ethereum Foundation is probably doing that, and also loves to market sell Ethereum as well. So, yeah, these are strategies that all these kind of players do, but there's also like an upwards limit in a way as well, in terms of like how much coins you can lend. At some point, like a lot of times when you look at like Aave as an example, let's just say Aave allows you to lend on Dogecoin as an example. And let's just say there was a Dogecoin foundation, right? And they had a ton of Doge. I would bet you 80% of that Doge there, or 60% of it was theirs off the rip. So like, hey, Aave talks to you and say, hey, we're about to add Doge, borrowing and lending on Aave. Cool. You mind if we're the initial depositors? Yeah, of course. And I deposit 60%. Like, we'll allow $15 million. Okay, I'll be 10 million of it. Boom. And then we allow whatever everybody else to pull up the next 5 million. And then whatever lend, and then that's some APR that they kind of gain on like supplying, place and shit like that. But yeah. Let's see. SEAL Team Rick. Yeah, go ahead, play. So let's see. Is Richard Hart going to make a comeback with more consistent streams, or he's keeping the head low? Because I think he's just scared of Interpol. I mean, there's no other explanation.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is there? Like, I mean, it didn't stop McAfee. I mean, but hey, but also like you shouldn't be posting pictures of you going to grocery shopping and all that stuff. And like, yeah, but anyway, but like, yeah, Interpol is just basically a fucking like international cartel gang and stuff. I mean, like Russia and Turkey are part of it and stuff like that. So I think they a lot of the people on that list should be on that list, but there's like, come on, dude, enough's enough. You say, go ahead, put that one on, Kyle. So it said, do you believe the saying concentration creates wealth, diversification keeps it? Basically, yeah. It's been proven true pretty much. But the thing is like there's waves in it and stuff. So like it depends on what you're considering concentration. So like concentration creates wealth. Yeah, if you're all in on one coin or one ecosystem and that ecosystem goes up a lot, you make a lot of money, especially if you're like, hopefully you're not buying the fucking top, right? But diversification keeps it, right? But you can still make a lot of money because it's like, what diversification? We're all in crypto. Like, what diversification? Like, I don't think I own any equities or barely any anymore. Yeah, it's all fucking crypto basically. So like very highly concentrated, right? But like, but also I'm not all in on one ecosystem either, just to protect from the downside of like, what if that ecosystem just doesn't do shit and what am I zeroed out? That's gay. That's super queer. That's like, no way, dude. Like I've talked to tons of people with like, especially who made money in like a lot of ecosystems. They're like, even though I love this ecosystem, like next cycle, I'm diversifying out of it because it's like, there's no way I'm going to be held hostage by a retard founder or a dumb team or anything like, and that's what it is, You won't believe how many times I've had that conversation with people. Many times. And they bring it up to me. I'm just like, I know. Especially as your money gets higher and higher. Like, I mean, fuck. If you're still in that ecosystem, it still can make a fortune, basically. It's interesting that Rachel posted Christmas, New Year's every year. I wonder how much preparation. Not much. I mean, basically, maybe like he thought about what he's going to talk about. He's really careful. He probably was very careful on talking about price and going. He basically went over like, I wouldn't be surprised he went ChatGPT on it to make sure like, okay, topics to talk about this and prompt it. Like, I think these are the correct things, or I don't know if he's using AI, but probably a little bit, or maybe a closed source version of it and doesn't really interact with the internet. And then probably went over the list with his lawyers, I would imagine, to make sure like, hey, I'm not saying anything crazy here. And then like it was in a dark room in black, so you can't tell what country he's in, basically, and then just hit record. It wasn't like it was live. And then it wasn't even posted on YouTube. It was posted on a Telegram group. So, and then from there it was reposted on I think the first person who posted it was Hexologist, actually, and then everybody else, and then people did reactions to it as well and stuff like that. But it is actually kind of crazy that he's not streaming at least once a quarter. I'm not the only one that thinks that. Fucking everybody. Anybody. Fuck everybody says that. Wouldn't it be crazy if EHex outpaces? I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. If it does, I'm going to do fantastic. Was that the train? The game train?
So.
We had a giant train just pass by and beep its horn, and that was just the money train passing by, bro. Sheesh. Go ahead with that new one. Let's see. I want to answer a couple questions and stuff, and kind of go over some of the topics before because as soon as we get into the video, it's pretty much just reaction time.
Yeah.
But if you had 1K coming into your bank account next week and wanted to put it in Shadow, Goggle, Sonic, how much would you put in each asset? Interesting. Well, Goggles, they're all basically, someone's basically, I think the team is probably defending the shadow price. It went below $9 for a minute. Now it's back at 10. You probably could do a third each, honestly. But if you were if you're trying to go more risk on, you'd basically just put it all in Shadow and Goggles, basically. You're trying to go max risk and stuff, but you're trying to have some, I always like having some Sonic as well. So probably a third each. Pretty safe bet, or maybe just go 400 in Sonic and split the rest in the other runs, something like that. No, I know. Yeah, I figured basically. How many cycles do we have? 2,000 to 3,000. I think the next all-time low, and that's it. I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. This, if you guys fuck up this next bear market, every bull market you can. There's ways to make money, but Ethereum is basically going to be oil. It's if you own enough Ethereum, if you own 10 Ethereum, you own oil well, effectively. Yeah, you own oil well. So it's going to be a game of just controlling Ethereum supply and basically generating the 3 to 2% yield that it generates, but the coin value is going to keep going higher. You have, especially with Tom Lee and the connections there with Chase and Goldman Sachs buying up the Ethereum supply, all the geopolitical stuff that's going into Ethereum, the upgrades are going to happen. Look at the GUI. The GUI is really low.
Mm-hmm.
So also possibly $1,800 Ethereum. It's possible, but we went 900. But you're basically saying that the all-time, basically you're for that price is basically saying Ethereum only goes to $8,000. 1,800 will hit if we only hit $8,000 because it's basically a 2x of the all-time high. So 48. Let's just do the math here. Yeah, it's 9,000 basically, 9,200 or whatever, and below 10 grand, and then it could hit 1,800. Yeah, 1,850. 1850.
About 350.
1762. No, 1774. But dude, the Vegas air is so dry.
Yeah, it really is.
Fuck, man.
Need a humidifier.
How low can Ethereum go in 26? Yeah, it's either 26 or 27, but it depends on the price. If we hit 12K, 12 to 14K, which I think that's very honestly the range there. That's for this time. But I'm gonna, in the cash out course, because the cash out course is gonna cover from October up until the next crypto mindset course will probably be January or February. So we're gonna cover you for the whole end of the year and the beginning of the next year. So if you definitely be in the cash out course. But I will be sounding the alarms at certain Bitcoin levels and Ethereum levels where we're in the rug zone. Head on a swivel. Right now we're just chilling. We're just chilling. But Ethereum, it wouldn't be far fetched sometime in early 29 or 28. We're sitting at a $25,000 Ethereum. Damn, Ethereum just doesn't move anymore. And once it moves dramatically and stays there for fucking 4 to 6 months, kind of like in 25 or a portion of 24, everyone, it just becomes a new paradigm. And then like, imagine you got 10 Ethereum, $250,000, you're yielding on it. It starts generating like livable income effectively. And I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to become more of a reserve asset. It's always been the reserve asset of crypto. I mean, really, in the reality of crypto, it's like DeFi created in 2017 onwards, right? And really DeFi wasn't really created. I mean, it wasn't really a thing really until like really 2020, but like with like Uniswap, and obviously I know Uniswap got created in 2019, but like, but liquidity pools and yield farming, that's all 2020 and 21 onwards. I mean, our reserve asset's always been Ethereum really. And then that's why everything is bonded. Yeah, 1738. Hey. Squaw. But when will Euphoria hit? I don't know when Zendaya gets naked, I guess. I mean, no, it's hitting right now. It's starting to. People are making money on the B&B side. Doge is moving up. You're getting moves now. Look at Solana. Solana keeps creeping up. I mean, pull the screen up, Kyle. Solana is now at 248. Solana season just barely started. With Dogecoin ETF, I think like the Doge stuff really is going to hit probably on Monday, on the Monday open. Because like right now it's Fridays tomorrow. The weekend's usually a little calmer because TradFi's kind of turned off, and then it turns back on Monday because of the rate cuts. I'm going to review it now because one of the big things that people were saying about this current video with Jerome Powell is that it sounded like there's going to actually be 2 more rate cuts. If there is 2 more rate cuts, that'd be great. Wow. Well, if I fucking, where is it? God, why is it on the second page, dude? Get rid. Oh wait. Get rid. Okay, move that over there and take this one away.
2,000 years later.
Yeah, we have a chance, Kyle. But what's your turn rate cuts? Well, it's probably like, let's just say, like, if I'm being very, very, very conservative, I'll probably say we get 1 more rate cut in October on the 29th, 25 basis points. That'll be it for there. And then I think we get 100 before the bull runs over. So we'll be down about 150 basis points before the bull runs over, basically. And I think we'll continue to get rate cuts up until the end of 2026. I believe we're going to get about 125 basis point cuts in 2026, maximum to like 75. That's the range there. But I think conservatively, like realistically, really more than conservatively, I think we're going to get like 4 rate cuts in 26. Probably like 2 front loaded in the first half, and then I think there's going to be 2 cuts in the third quarter actually, and I don't think much in in the fourth quarter really. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. CZ's going to list Pulse. I mean, it's if Pulse exchange is going to be listed anywhere, it's probably going to be the most likely exchange is going to be Binance and OKX probably. OKX, Binance and stuff, but Binance would be the really big one to move the thing. Besides that one, the only one that'll list it would probably be Kraken. I would imagine that's about it. I don't think Crypto.com or Gemini will list it, or Coinbase. Coinbase would be really cool. That'd be really awesome. Dr. Evil posts but this is why EHex has, as the marketing goes up, it's just easier to get an EHex. It's on Ethereum. I don't have to bridge. But the thing is, liquidity pools are there. If EHex pumps, it will drag up PHex, and it will drag that money will flow into the ecosystem because some people will take profits on EHex and people will roll it into the rest of the ecosystem and stuff, so as well as like money will bridge in. Some money will bridge in legitimately and kind of pump the ecosystem, but we also need Ethereum to keep going higher and higher. Pump that tires up 50% on the day. Oh, very nice. Hey, I just got richer. I just keep not looking. I keep making more money, bro. It's just like. Hey. But this is why I'm in multiple ecosystems. Because like the like I'm winning on part of my RH portfolio. I'm heavy Solana, so Solana doing good. My Dogecoin is looking nice. I'm eating chicken right now. I have other bags. I got my AVAX bags are looking good. They're not massive. They're not massive compared to my other stuff, but AVAX is doing okay. Cockinu's up a lot today.
Who would have thought?
That's your bitch's favorite coin, isn't it? Who would have thought? This Cockinu's got you going crazy. Sheesh. But I should pull it up, Kyle.
Yeah.
Cockinu's up 32% on the day. Shit, look at the 15-minute chart. We glorious out here. All right. Doing that, but obviously it's been higher. I got one homie that's super very deep in this coin, but look, it still has a way to go. But like, there's a lot of money pumping into the ecosystem, so you can pull me down. I've diversified, but but here's another reason why also AVAX is going to pull me up, Kyle.
You have it off.
No, it's on the screen.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. First time here, Kyle. First time. No joke. Breaking: South Korea's first stablecoin just launched on Avalanche.
Ooh. Shit.
Blackpink's in. And let's see how AVAX is doing today. Probably doing okay. Where's AVAX at? 20% on the week, 15% in the last days. Who told you about that cartel money? But realistically, it's really only up on a 2x from the bottom here for where like people could have DCA'd in the last year and stuff like that. But I think most people's average will probably like $20 on this, right? So you're up moderate on it. I think the price is going to continue to go up. I mean, the local high here in the last year is like $54, so it's probably heading towards that. Up by October, I think it will be up to there again. And here's the thing: now everybody now wants to buy coins.
Yep.
Why? The prices are starting to go up.
You faded them when they were low.
Yeah, you have to invest like a man. You can't invest like a female. You have to buy when it's not sexy, man. You have conviction, testicular fortitude. You have to. I mean, look, I'm not everything. I'm literally so consistent in what I'm saying.
You gonna be a woman only fuck the winner at the end?
You gonna let some other guy fuck your girl? you gonna spend all this time fucking at the old time highs and just get a bimbo with no tits?
10% game.
Imagine every time a girl had sex, her tits get smaller. Why's your girl got 8 cups now? After I made all this money, now I'm going to buy the all-time high. I like the thought of that. All right, let's calm down a little bit. Let's calm down. Yeah. But I think I'm losing all this weight to get a fat bitch. Pudgy Kevin. That's a new one. But I mean, right now, probably now. I'm saying this right now. It's not sexy. This is a fat bitch. This is a fat bitch with an attitude right now. Okay, no one's talking about AI coins right now. Just a little bit. Don't go crazy because like a lot of money goes a long way. Yes, it does. But like a little money goes a long way on coins. Like what's not hot right now? AI. Maybe a little virtuals, a little render, maybe some FET. Keep it walking. Maybe you're like $1,000, 300, 300, 300. You know, whatever you do. And then you keep it moving. You stop paying attention. You're like, all right, the prices are kind of low. It's time to, let me look. FET's probably up a little bit today. A little bit. Watch it down bad. Red. Come on, red. Okay, it's only up 3%. Okay. Right? But let's look at the price. Over the last year. Has no shit. Okay. Let's look over. Boom. Okay, in 24, right? This is when it was going high. $3. 60 cents. You could have bought Fed at like closer to 50, but right now, sure. Boom, let me throw $300 in this. How much does $300 give me? 400. And if it goes to $1, I'll have $444. But if it goes to 2, Kyle, wait, Kyle, let me see if like it does a 3x, I'll have $1,320.
No. Hold up. That's crazy.
Are you still cool with Walter and Myron? Why do I get this question every
even on Charlie's stream?
I literally talked to Fresh yesterday. No, the day before that. Yes. Why do I feel like you've asked this question multiple times. You know, my memory's like lapsing here because it's like every 4 or 5 months. I get this like, why? Like, are you still cool with Sterling? Are you and Rolo okay? Does Sartain secretly hate you guys? Is Kyle really an unpaid intern?
Shit. All right.
Well, is Myron really down with the OPP?
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, you know me. Is Fresh really that fresh? Was Myron really a Fed at some point in time? Does Myron go live like every day? I've been speculating and wondering that's not happening anymore. Did you take a shower today? Like, these questions are insane to me. Like, yes, motherfuckers. Yeah. Like, I just said at the beginning of the stream, the CMC Q4 goes live tomorrow, September 19th. We'll be live on Fresh and Fit on Friday and on Money Mondays, the 22nd. Are you cool with Fresh and Myron? No, obviously not.
Fuck, no. I heard they're French.
Bro, these are female questions. Did Robert Kiyosaki really recommend crypto mindset course? Yes, he did. Is Ken McElroy really cool? Yes.
Yeah.
I've been speculating if you showered today. Yes, I showered. But after the gym, no. My favorite thing is to go work out, do a heavy leg day, then go out for some muff. the muff. Wait, the muff is like an unshaven cooch, right?
Yeah.
The muff. I'm hitting that 70s cooch.
70s cooch, all right.
Fuck, y'all kill me. That's like my last stream when you guys start giving me prices for different country hoochies. Like, you start giving me 3 or 4 price, like, it's $80 for an all-night girlfriend experience in Cambodia. Cambodia? You're like, I wouldn't know, but I've heard Thailand's like $150. What? Yo, Hong Kong? I'm not talking Hong Kong. Oh, are you still cool with the Bill Nye? This guy? Well, he's kind of a little left. He's kind of gone really lefty, honestly, but yeah, I really appreciate his show. But come to find out, like, he's not even really even a scientist, really. Isn't he just an engineer? Wasn't he an engineer?
An engineer, yeah. I mean,
who's the actual scientist? I forgot who was the actual scientist. Like, there was a real, like, anyway. Either way, it doesn't matter, but like, he got a lot of people in the science, so shout out to him.
Yeah, he was a mechanical engineer.
When is the last day we can get to the CMC? So I think we're probably just going to run the CMC up until the end of the month, and then October 1st it's closed. So I think that's how it's going to end up being. So just because we only have like 10 days left in the month anyway, so we're like, fuck it. So we're just going to be like, the last stream me and Charlie are going to do on our own channels is going to be, I think, the last day of the month. So, Miguel, are you still chill with you? Nah, fuck Charlie. Tell him that I said fuck you. No, I don't know. Anyway, let's see. I thought muff was a spillover from fat from the stomach. You might. I'm just not on the game. You know,
not on the muff game.
I'm not on the muff game. You know, engineers are farming a science. Some would say. No. What's the last day of the purchase of course? I believe it's going to be the last day of the month. So we're no longer going to be on YouTube. So the whole month of October and a good portion of the next month, I'm going to be off of YouTube for October 1st to Halloween. There might be a Halloween episode. I'm going to go pretty hardcore in the paint. I don't know why I thought I was going to be streaming. I might actually not even stream that and shit. But I might do a recorded Halloween stream just for fun.
Yeah.
But like, I'm going all out this year for Halloween.
Dude,
full on Halloween. Auto. DCC streams are 75% off topic, 25% crypto, yet 1,000% profits.
This is a known fact.
Not really. It's more like, I'd probably say 60-40, if I'm being honest. Because like, if you actually look at before I start talking about Muff, before I was so rudely interrupted by the chat, asked, are you still cool with Myron and Fresh? That's the FUPA? What's the bussy? Dude, and all this shit comes from Zoomers, dude. That comes from you guys. That was not some millennial fucking shit.
That's the end millennial, I guess.
Older Zoom. It's probably like
the youngest
96. You 96 motherfuckers. You 96, 98 motherfuckers. You fucking pre-cum fucking late 90s, early 2000 motherfuckers. But the red pills, because obviously a lot of people need the red pill. Bro, I was shocked how you guys had the catalog. You had the index pricing of coochie across the planet.
Somebody has the Excel sheet.
I was gonna play a meme today of there's this. It went pretty viral on Instagram yesterday. Where there's this guy. I think it's this chick. I think it was a chick. Where basically she has a restaurant that's in front of a basically a massage parlor that's basically a happy endings place.
Yeah.
And so they're just watching it closed down. So all day they're recording people trying to open the door and being like, oh, they're out of business. No. Just gangs of guys. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah, that younger Zoomer, man. I'm 23, so it's I know exactly what you're talking about. I got weird once we got
Bro, I feel it too, because I'd be mad too if everyone all the millennials are fucking all my chicks.
Can't be mad. If
Bro, it's insane, dude. Who's now? If you're good looking, you're watching this channel. You're probably in shape. You're probably not having trouble in the nookie department, or at least you're fucking one chick a night, a year and stuff like that, or you got a girlfriend and stuff. So you're not, you're not virginless and pussyless, right? But the average Zoomer dude is like if you're 25 years old, the 25-year-old chick versus with the 25-year-old dude, that's not happening that much. It is happening, but it's not.
Yeah.
She's fucking 28, 33. I don't think 40, but some 40s, of course. But she's fucking some guy in her 30s, basically. Some dude in his 30s. Getting muffed out.
Some call it beef curtains.
Rump roast? Wait, isn't rump roast and wasado? I know. I'm getting off this topic. We're getting off this topic, you guys. You guys did this. Hit the like button because only here I talk about this. We're going to be an hour in. Time to do the Fed breakdown. Well, actually, I probably will start an hour. So let's just get all this fun stuff down and stuff like that. But replay gang or muff gang. That's right. Nick Fuentes. What? Anyway. AVAX is up a little bit. Yeah. Let's see what else is up right now. So let's go back to the whole crypto thing. Since Otto says I don't talk about crypto, so FET's decent price. Let's see what else. Let's see what else is here. So actually, here's an interesting thing. If you go by categories, now this is only for the majors. If you're looking for micro cap stuff, you're just going to have to look on Deck Screener. And if you don't know what that is, Crypto Mindset course goes live tomorrow. You guys will be getting an email at midnight tonight. Okay. Now you can scroll down here and then you can look for, let's see, where's AI? Dun, 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 dun. There's stuff in here that shouldn't be in here, if I'm being completely honest, because they're not full AI plays, but they're pretending a little bit. Near is they're like a Y Combinator coin and stuff but even that's up 18%, right? So if we look here, render. Let's look at $4 render. I really like render, right? Let's look last year. Peaked here at $10. It's at $4. 60% off. The low right here was $3. So yeah, you could have gone for a little bit cheaper, right? Sure. But it would have maybe 70% off, right? But good price. No one's paying attention to render right now. It's at 2 billion market cap. How high has it been? $13. So there's a solid 4x if it gets back to its all-time highs whenever there is a render time, when it's rendering time, right? Now we go back, right? But no one's paying it. This is when you buy coins. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to try to put 30,000 and shit. Shout out to my dudes if you can. But virtuals, I think virtuals is really good. This one's below $1 billion. This is a steal. Alex steal. $4. $1. So it's down 66%. Fuck me, dude. $1 here, right? Obviously, $1 is better, right? But since the market's heading up, you make a little DCA into virtuals. I think those three right there, that motherfucker, your fucking basis right here. And you don't got to worry about AI very much because you got the majors. This thing has been as high as what? Okay, it went to, let's guesstimate, let me look at market cap. Peaked out here at 4.5 billion. It's at 800. That's a 4.5x, almost a 5x. Now you can replace Fed if you want with a PIF. But like you put Mike Caravanza. No, down, right there. Pyth. If you want that one too, you can replace 1 to 3. But I think I think virtual should be in there no matter what. Get a virtuals in there. Render should be in there. Now FET is the interchangeable one just because it's just performed so shittily. But yeah, dude, it's fucking horrible, dude.
Yeah.
You want to say it's so dry out here, dude. I'm not even I don't know. There's like a storm going on right now.
Yeah, it's like we have a bunch of little
There's
dust.
I think it must be dust more than wind, really. I mean, more than the dry air. I'm Salvadorian, so it's in Spanish. Okay. And I'm conquistador, but it's in English. No. But never enough dry powder. I think people are trolling. Well, no, sometimes they're concerned trolling, or just kind of I think they're half serious. It's because we get this question quite a lot. Are you guys still cool with them? Like, damn, dog. Yes, motherfucker. Yes. Ricola. That's right. But put me back on here, Cal.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Now, this is only for the majors, right? Right? There's also other AI coins here and stuff like that. This one's actually not a terrible one right here. I think they're doing a lot of stuff, but it's very low key. But let's see how high this bitch went. Yeah, 1.3. So this one, if you were just like, hey, I'm gonna have 5 coins, I think. Oh god damn. Sorry. Cash Patel Network is actually a moderately decent coin. When there is an alt season, this does move pretty well. Obviously November was kind of the top, but look, it kind of popped off in January right here and July. Not bad, right? But it hasn't done much in 25. When it does move, there's a good amount of X's here. There's about a 4 to 5 banger here just to get back to the all-time highs. Not bad, right? But and then that other Pith coin or whatever, that's another decent one. And then some people really like Tau and stuff like that. But I'd rather do if I had to choose, just say I say fuck FET, and I just go render virtuals and probably go probably this one right here as an example, just to have something in that part of the ecosystem. You don't have to go crazy with it, but it's nice to have some coins there. Yeah, I think someone was asking me about this one, but from there, it's just you're better off investing into more speculative lower cap ones if you're just going to do that already. But that's if you want AI at all. If you just want one, I think if you just want one coin, if there's only one coin you can put money into in terms of I just want one AI coin because I just don't have much capital right now, and I'm just trying to get Render. I think Render is probably the most fairly priced. I think it's a good middle. I think they haven't had any bad stories just yet. Next day, Render CEO gets caught with his pants down, fucking his maid or whatever the fuck. The classic is the CEO of Render had sex with the treasurer department, whatever the story is, So, but I think Render's probably good, or virtuals. I think one of those two would probably be better. You'd be better off because virtuals actually has a business. Render does do a lot of interesting, cool things, and they don't have as much of a bad story. I think FET will have an explosive run up at some point, but most people can't hold something that's not steady Eddie. I do think FET will perform eventually when there's an AI run. It's just the whole rebrand was fucking terrible. Most rebrands 9 out of 10 times is terrible. You sell you how we took profits on Sonic at $1.20, $1.40, and then we rebought back in at 30 cents and all the way down to 25 cents. So and all the way down. I guess really I started my DCA really at 44 cents and down, but the average price probably I'm in 29 cents because it went to 25, it went to 31. I've had so many opportunities to buy at 29 cents.
Yeah.
Kyle's got a nice little DCA going right there. That's smart. As a matter of fact, put the camera on it. Didn't we throw 25,000 at you the other day for nothing? But God damn. But yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Put that one up. Codex Doc. Read it, Kyle.
He says, what about a very risky play like Safe Moon from day one Safe Mooner? And have you heard of #RTO? It's an AI coin.
I have not actually, but in terms of you can play, I have heard people legitimately if I was going to do that and it wasn't going to be ridiculous, if you really just want, maybe it'll be a revenge trade or something like that. You could do like I've heard people doing Luna and SafeMoon. It still has some mind share. Maybe it just pumps because it's a kind of meme coin sort of pump and stuff like that. You could. It's just I wouldn't go too hard in the paint, but like 1,000. If you really like it that bad, you could go 1,000 and see what happens. And if anything does happen, that'd be like you would probably get an 8x to a 15x, but like that's not something you should like. Let me put the whole $10,000 portfolio, or let me put like let me put 30 grand into it or something. Unless you have a very large portfolio, like a $3 million portfolio, then you could take you can take like 1%, $30,000 swings into shit and be like whatever, But it's up to you if you're watching it. And right, there will be a pump because people are stupid. Look at Pete. That's all you need to know.
That's all you need. I was gonna say that's. Exactly.
I don't need lessons from retards. I got it.
It's there. It's cemented. Just keep going.
But yeah. Anything else? Let me just 1 second, Kyle. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, the stable coins launching on the Avalanche. So we have Avalanche. Like I really like Avalanche because their subnets work. It was nothing sexy to talk about, but it was just kind of something to add and stuff for a while. Like actually, as a matter of fact, yeah, pull me up, Kyle, one more time. Let's see. So we had a nice move on Cocky and you. Besides that, I mean, really, like, yeah, Joe's kind of dog shit, but like, I mean, really, just right now, I'd just be holding like Cocky and you and just AVAX token straight up. That's about it. Like, even Trader Joe, like the Joe token's not doing that well. Like, people are not that happy with it right now. That's all that's kind of going on right now. But yeah, pauses. Yes. Let's look at the ecosystem here. Post a stream. Post it. So yeah, we got the pump.tires. They're up about almost 40-50%. That's not bad. Pepe 17%. I like Pep. This is a good coin. I think that's one of the better coins right there. Most is up 9%. So we've had like a nice little move and stuff like that. Obviously, EHex has really been the one that's been moving the most out here in these streets. Yeah. Yeah, PHex is literally like just sub penny right now. We're pretty much at a penny, basically. It is kind of funny. Yeah. It is nice to see EHex up here now. That 30% of a penny right now. So basically it went from at one point it was like, I think it was the ratio was like 1 PHex could get you like 5 or 4.5 EHex. Now it's 1 to 3 now. It's 1.33 or whatever, but like, so the ratio is coming in a little better. And then like, well, okay. Well, right now, Pulse Chain dude's in shambles. In shambles, basically, a little bit over it and stuff. I don't know why people are. Well, it's because probably people just cheated out of their whole thing and stuff like that. But we need something to pump, dude. Because like, fuck, man, we're not getting any hype, dog. Like, we need something to pump. Like, I've never seen so much player haters in fucking the Pulse Chain community. God damn, dude. Like, at least we're fucking like beefing E and versus P again instead of versus die. So yeah. Let me go off to this and stuff. So let me see if there's any last things here. Pull my screen up, Kyle, please, when you have a chance. So Bitcoin's actually sitting at a nice little price of 117,000. That's good. Bitcoin no 114. So, but now 117. So I feel sad no more. So, girlfriend, fuck. Ethereum's actually lagging a little bit right now, but it's over the 7 days. Obviously it's up more now, but it went down more, obviously as well. But is eventually once we alt season really starts. What number have I said? $5,200 Ethereum, right? But we get stuff starting before. If you're in the ecosystem, you're catching shit. Solana, Solana's kind of starting to run. Doge is starting to run. Cardano's actually probably very promptly be over $1 very soon. Tron's going to do very well. Continue with Chainlink will do well. I don't like Chainlink, but it will. Hyperliquid, I think, will still keep going up, but it'll slow down a little bit with all the extra competition as these go live. Sui's actually, let me go to Sui real quick. Let's see what's going on in the Sui ecosystem. Let's look at deep. So it's up 3%. Nothing crazy. Deep book token 3%. 13%. So yeah, this is pumped here, came down a little bit, it's repumping again. So this is the meme token that I like on Sui. There's not much out here, bros, but Lofi, probably the best one on. People keep saying toilet dust, but bro, it doesn't come across my radar very much. I like deep, and I like bluefin and basically where the fuck is it? Cetus token with the one that had the hack on it and stuff. I'm just going to buy into anything. It's starting to pump a little bit, but there's not much, like this is when you buy, you know. So like I've converted about 20% of my Sui position into alts as of like maybe a month ago, and like been DCAing the last few weeks basically, but still mostly holding Sui token, you know. Bro, Lofi is one piece meme coin. Yeah, that's about right. I wouldn't doubt it. You know. And anything else? Let's go Solana. Let's look at Nobody Sausage. We had a little pump on Sausage. It's come down a little bit, but like we've recovered from the bottom here. Where did I DCA? Back where I sold here. Oh fuck, Kyle. Damn it, Kyle.
I pulled that.
So I like this chart. Look at this. Look at this. Higher. Higher. People chart like this. Like this. But you should chart like me smart. Me smart. So look. Right? Equal. Right? Higher. Right? And because people are accumulating, i.e. me. Partnership with Pudgy. I mean, look at that. This is Mr. Take Your Bitch, you know? But told guys to take profits here. The top, on stream, multiple times. I think legitimately here, and I think we told people to take profits here. This one, you know, was kind of like
you see that ladder, the ladder up before the actual top.
This one?
Or no, the one before.
This one.
I laddered myself on top of that, bought back the bottom, and then sold the top again.
That's what's up. Kyle's the one that got me into N2. And like he waited like 15 minutes to tell me, and he cost me dearly.
Yeah, it really was.
No, it really was like a 2 days or a day or two.
No, it was like a day.
Day too late.
A day I had to make sure.
The cop fuck up. It is decidedly so. Fucking up, Kyle. Son of a bitch.
This isn't provable in court.
Now, as long as we don't get a big downturn, like we'll get a correction at some point in the next few weeks and stuff like cow Jewing. Yeah, basically.
I mean, in South Park. I mean, come on.
I mean, you're over here Hebrewing. But yeah, so like DCA'd around here basically. Not the exact wick down here, but pretty close. I think it got in at 60-ish, like 61 around here. Made the one. And then it pumped up a little bit and stuff like that. So like I got it. So I took profits here. About, I don't want to say the exact number, but percentage wise, maybe like 25, 30% of the bag. Rebought initially here on the first downturn when we were right here in the low 60s here with half of the stack. So 15% of the stack here. And then once we got to the 17th, it started ramping up. I just got in with the rest. So like pretty much my average is right here. And I've added a nice little chunk to the bag.
Hell yeah.
You know, not bad. And so the nobody bag keeps growing, keeps cultivating this crypto. And, you know, I think it's doing pretty good. Like I think Fat still hasn't bottomed yet. Or let me see where Fat's at.
I think Fat bottom.
I mean, I think someone's protecting the $1 million market cap on Fat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
it just bounced from the 1.0.
It's bottomed, but it just, I mean, look at that. These are the charts. But no,
I've been DCing.
Is it going to load? I don't know if it's going to load. But yeah, the memes are still pretty good on it and stuff. But you know, it's gonna be like we need full on Ethereum. I mean, Solana season and stuff like that. Like And we have still the Solana ETF going. Is Ponking? Yeah, above $300, probably or 280, probably closer to 300. Once we break the all-time high on Ethereum, on Solana at 300. Yeah, there's gonna be rotation into those mid caps.
Yep.
Mid caps used to be like
50 million.
like 300 to like 800 million market cap, but now mid caps are like 50 million. You know, so yeah. Anything else? That's it. Beautiful. Is Link gonna? I think Link's more substantially more useful than XRP, like unbelievably so. Like oh my god, you know. There's some news on Aptos as well. Aptos becomes so Aptos partners with PayPal. So there's could be a little, that's a little PayPal mafia shit there. That's a little Trump. So like anything like PayPal or like that, you know, there's some Trump involvement there a little bit. So pretty much stable coins on PayPal. So that's good. Get out the way. You can take it down, Cal. Yeah, so that's some news for them as well. I'm trying to look at anything else before I I guess this is pretty big news right here, but like, go ahead and post it real quick. So yeah, I think I talked about this yesterday a little bit, but TikTok US deal finalized. So yeah, Silver Lake, Oracle, and Andreessen Horowitz, A16Z Capital, will control TikTok's US operations under an 80-20 framework with ByteDance. The impossible just happened. 80% owned, basically, they're all in, you know, and legacy investors, Chinese owned. ByteDance keeps a slice. American board with U.S. government oversight. New U.S. app only with separate algorithm for global TikTok. Yeah, we can't have you indoctrinating our people. That's our job.
And they're gonna take out all my memes.
Why would the U.S. government run an app because most people just like, they're just buying the iPhone and they're just buying that app. Mm-hmm. Everyone people don't care. They're just trying to get famous.
Yep.
At the end of the day, you're just trying to get famous. And like the Chinese owned it and stuff. It's called soft power. Like the Chinese controlling TikTok. It's soft power over the United States. Mm-hmm. It's like the Japanese strategy of soft power with anime titties have just, come on. I'm literally doing.
I think it already peaked.
It's kind of starting to peak. They got to increase the visas of like us going out there to fuck their chicks and shit, but like, which is already happening anyway. Yeah. Monero, buddy.
You want me to pull it back up?
Go ahead. Why? I don't even make what? One of the co-founders of venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz, also known as A16Z Capital, Ben Horowitz, is Jewish, and that's also one of the reasons why they really wanted to control it. Is because the Chinese like don't really fuck with the Jews that much. Mm-hmm. They're showing the shit off. But you let Myron talk to you about that. TikTok didn't make people dumb. TikTok just showed us how dumb people are. Yeah, that's true. And also, people are fools and stuff, but like. They don't show it explicitly, but if you can get famous, there's like tons of memes. Is like you riding the bus to work just because you didn't want to do a dance in 2020. You know, you see that whole thing, the music, because it started on music. I actually had the Musical.ly app downloaded and stuff like that.
Dude, that shit was.
I should have did it myself and stuff. So I'm over here just dance. I'm over here dancing.
Dude, now I can't dance for shit.
I can't dance for shit. Yeah. Does that mean Israel will be monitoring us instead of China? Kind of, yeah, basically. Basically, I think they're going to calm the Jew shit down. But Instagram's still king out here. Instagram's literally the Third Reich. Shout out.
They let it all happen.
At some point, I'll get to the food.
A lot of racism in red pill comments.
We're doing our jobs, man. Our jobs as millennials is to like basically be the big bros to all the younger generations. And the millennials learned from the Xers getting divorce raped, and then the millennials didn't learn their lesson and still got divorce raped, the older guys. And then us, the kind of younger millennials, are like, fuck that shit. And then like Kyle's generation is going like, yo, fuck that shit. Like right now, they're like, do you know we've lost I've literally, I can't believe this shit, but literally the Zoomer generation, the young males in the Zoomer generation are so unbelievably racist. Or like they're saying they're like super Republican, basically. Well, yeah, you fucked up, dog. That's what happened. It's too late. They can't calm down the Jew shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they fucked up. That was their own fucking fault. And then like, it's just, or it's, yeah. Exactly. So no more anti-Semitism. They'll still be in there. There's no way. I mean, it's an Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. Python Chainlink. Well, I mean, the safer place Chainlink. I mean, just because they're buying it up and stuff. But like the foundation, literally, they were like they basically ruined. Unless you got in 2020, they essentially ruined your bull run. I mean, you still made some money, but like you gave up so much. Like the opportunity cost of holding Chainlink in 21 was so unbelievably shitty. Because I mean, you had accounts that are being this is allegedly were being paid by the foundation, and there was all this whale money being paid, like Chainlink God and a bunch of these other accounts are getting paid to shield Chainlink like crazy. And then there was I did the math on it. It only did a 3x like in 21, like because they were selling off the entire supply, like literally Chainlink, the Link Marines were getting dumped on by the military, industrial complex. Let's look at this bull run right here, right? So 2020, right? Incredible. Let's go back over here. Okay. So obviously this peak right here is incredible right here in 21, right? So, but if you didn't buy here, oh, I'm sorry. Let me go to price, right? Did I get that right? Or what am I doing here? Okay. Let's go to max. Boom. Boom. Right. So if you bought here to here, right? It's a nice run, right? But if you bought in, let's just say January of 21, right? Effectively, right? So $10 to $50, it's 5x, which is it is decent, right? But if you bought there, but most people, as things were, March is where hella people start showing up, and then there's the Coinbase launches and stuff. So it's essentially just 2x here, and then it just kind of like did lower lows and then just basically died off. So like it peaked so here's the problem with it is it only peaked in May. So there's a lot of coins that peaked in April or May, depending on the Coinbase listing. There's the IPOs and stuff like that. And there should have been a November pump. In November, look what it did too. Because they were, so the Chainlink Foundation was heavily selling Chainlink this entire time down. This is why they basically, so if you got in 2020 on Chainlink, you didn't really make that much. Unless you were trading it very aggressively or using leverage or something like that. But if you're buying spot and holding, you didn't make that much money. This went down. Shit on Hex all you want, but in 21, it was like thunder cock up. So people made money. But people also bought the top. But that's what it is. But it topped out late in the cycle. So like most people were in profit. And if they took profit, that's on them or not. But like here, there just wasn't that much to like get enticed unless you were back here. If you bought it here at the 23 cents, it went to 50 cents. That's incredible. Incredible returns, right? It's like a 200x. But you bought a quarter, right, on Chainlink, and it went to $50. You did 200x. That's a ton of money. But but if you weren't there back then and you kind of got in late on Chainlink, you were just extra liquidity. And the foundation, like they actually, and they didn't announce that they were selling. They told everyone about November. I think around late November, they told, "Hey, we're officially done selling." Officially done selling? What do you mean you've been selling? Yeah, we've been selling the entire year of 21. So like they retarded these prices. So like this big crash here, that's the foundation selling. They were selling massive amounts. And now we have the money to expand our infrastructure across the, so like that was a big pet peeve with mine and stuff like that. But like now that they have like TradFi buying it and stuff like that, they have more extra liquidity. So now it's performing okay, right? $5. So it's done a 5x, so it's done okay now. But like I would not be that bullish on Chainlink, but now because there's going to be an ETF and there's now retard treasury companies that are going to buy Chainlink, it will do okay. But without those, like fuck that, dude. What's the point? So without further ado, let me go. So This is our boy Jerome Powell. And we've had interest rates cuts by 25 basis points. So let's see what he says.
Good afternoon.
Let's see if I can turn it up all the way. Okay.
My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. While the unemployment rate remains low, it has edged up. Job gains have slowed and downside risks to employment have risen. At the same time, inflation has risen recently and remains somewhat elevated. In support of our goals and in light of the shift in the balance of risks, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate by 0.25 percentage point.
Whew.
We also decided to continue to reduce our securities holdings. I'll have more to say about monetary policy after.
That's a big one. So basically, interest rates going down, that's good. But letting the balance sheet run off means that they're actually contracting the monetary supply still. So they're allowing the bonds to get repaid back, and instead of like essentially going back to recreate the same bonds and kind of inflating back the money supply, they're still like letting it run off. So they're basically trying to get themselves into a point where like they can print money on the main balance sheet without the main balance sheet looking so ridiculous, basically. But the 25 basis points is really good for basically demand type printing. So businesses getting refinanced and everything like that, housing, but 25 basis points isn't that much, but it's the start. So we've entered the easing cycle. That's good.
Briefly reviewing economic developments. Recent indicators suggest that growth of economic activity has moderated. GDP rose at a pace of around 1.5% in the first half of the year, down from 2.5% last year. The moderation in growth largely reflects a slowdown in consumer spending. In contrast, business investment in equipment and intangibles has picked up from last year's pace. Activity in the housing sector remains weak. In our summary of economic projections, the median participant projects GDP to rise 1.6% this year and 1.8% next year, a touch stronger than projected in June. In the labor market, the unemployment rate edged up to 4.3% in August, but remains little changed over the past year at a relatively low level. Payroll job gains have slowed significantly to a pace of just 29,000 per month over the past 3 months. A good part of the slowing likely reflects a decline in the growth of the labor force.
You can blame a lot of this on Jerome Powell, and the Fed. They cut too late. They're always late to the fucking party. I mean, they're so late this time that other central banks have literally cut ahead of them. And they're kind of pretty much the last real central bank to start cutting. There is other central banks who are cutting just in line with the Federal Reserve like normal, but like there's quite a lot of other countries are just, literally like Switzerland's at 0 right now. Give me money. But it is their fault. Like we had a weakening condition. They had this data, the numbers have been cooked for a while. It's just for political reasons, they didn't want to cut. They should have been cutting. They could have been really lazy. We've already could have had 75 basis points of cuts, nothing dramatic, but they could have started cutting and then that could have really just like a lot of times, like the market would probably be a lot higher than it is right now, and that could ease it. Like you want to hear something crazy? 49% of like consumer spending is being done by the top 10% of America. Shout out to your boy. And that's mostly off of the back of that we're all like the top 10% of Americans hold almost 80% of all the stocks. So stocks are at all-time high. The top 10% of basically income earners, I would imagine, own in terms of demographics and stuff, independent, own quite a lot of the crypto as well. So crypto is doing moderately well. Some of you guys are gambling, but doing moderately well, and crypto's doing pretty well. And then as well as, TradFi is doing very well as well. Real estate in the shitter, of course, still. But as long as the stock market doesn't take a massive dip, that consumer spending is still there. But basically, the rest of the consumers are hurting bad.
Force due to lower immigration and lower labor force participation. Even so, labor demand has softened, and the recent pace of job creation appears to be running below the break-even rate needed to hold the unemployment rate
No.
constant. In addition, wage growth has continued to moderate while still outpacing inflation. Overall, the marked slowing in both the supply of and demand for workers is unusual. In this less dynamic and somewhat softer labor market, the downside risks to employment appear to have risen. In our SEP, the median projection for the unemployment rate is 4.5% at the end of this year and edges down thereafter. Inflation has eased significantly from its highs in mid-2022, but remains somewhat elevated relative to our 2% longer run goal.
So basically what he's saying right here is that it's Trump's fault that all this is happening. It was like a lot of people have interpreted it that way, and it kind of does sound like what he's saying. But I mean, with no help from the Fed, really, I think if you actually look at a lot of the first 100 days that Trump was in office, I think a lot of it was very positive. The tariff stuff is starting to get kind of like held out. We have quite a lot of really good plans. I think the whole stablecoin bill that passed is more or less good. We found someone to buy treasuries, which is going to be the global populace. You countries don't want to buy. It's okay. Your citizens will. Wait. No. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. No. Yes. So before the end of the bull run, I'd say by late 26, 27, there's going to be about $4 trillion in stable coins. And those are mostly going to be completely backed by U.S. Treasury. So that'll make the stable coin market the largest holder of U.S. Treasuries on the planet. I think right now we're ninth in terms of like other countries. I think we're like $1.5 trillion right now. So, and most of those are backed or getting backed by Treasury. And that's mostly USDC and Tether. And of course, there's a new stable coin every day. Every day there's a new stable coin. Shout out to South Korea. But and most of the stable coins are US backed. Now we are starting to get other countries, but who's going to use the stable coin one other than like people living in South Korea, North Korea? You know what? I've got a feel. All right, so the last major hack that I saw on a bridge was through Harmony One, right? But there was some bullshit that happened through bridges, I believe, to the Lazarus group that happened on AVAX as well. So I wouldn't be surprised that like King Jong-un gets some of that sweet stablecoin money at some point in time. But what do you think about staking Solana until we get close to price targets? I think it's just very not a great idea. What's the point? I mean, basically, like you should have been staking Solana the entire time you've been in, basically. And this is around the time I'd be like exiting my positions on anything staked, basically. I don't think the yield's that great on it. It's okay. The yield's okay on it, but like you need to be having your coins liquid because like if a local top hits and you want to take some profit, because this market's very tradery. Now it's not like it's buy and hold, but it's very tradery if you want to make some short-term gains. So like you have to like take 30% profits on like your coins and then rebuy back Solana. Like Solana, when it topped at 300, if you could have took profits at 280, 260, it crashed down to basically like $100, rebuy back in. You've now added 40%, 50% to your fucking Solana position. It's shitty we have to do that, but that's what it is now. And so like I don't like to be staked and stuff. I like in the beginning of the cycle, like if I bought Solana, like when I bought Solana in 23, yeah, staking it from there onwards. If you're just long term holding it until like, okay, we're in the bull market year that it could possibly top. Well, yeah, you're fine. But you will gain some Solana if you really want to. But like, I think you'd make more Solana just buying it. But it's free yield, of course. So like, but the reason they're paying you yield is because you can't dump it. And there is, last I checked, there is like an unlocking period. I don't know if it's 7 days or so, but like you have to, it's 7 or 14 days to unlock or something like that with like, unless you're in the staking yielding tokens with something like Lido Solana or something like that, then those have liquid stake. So, but if people are running for the door, that can become very illiquid very quickly. But that's only at the top. But on the local top, it should be fine. But yeah.
Estimates based on the Consumer Price Index and other data indicate that total PCE prices rose 2.7% over the 12 months ending in August, and that, excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 2.9%. These readings are higher than earlier in the year as inflation for goods has picked up. In contrast, disinflation appears to be continuing for services. Near-term measures of inflation expectations have moved up on balance over the course of this year on news about tariffs, as reflected in both market and survey-based measures. Beyond the next year or so, however, most measures of longer-term expectations remain consistent with our 2% inflation goal.
Which they've adjusted. They're now allowing a higher percentage. So like, I think very shortly, like they're gonna be totally comfortable with like 3.5% or whatever, and just sending it.
The median projection in the SEP for total PCE inflation is 3.0% this year and falls to 2.6% in 2026 and to 2.1% in 2027. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people.
That's a lie. It's to protect their ability to print dollars, while somehow protecting the dollar's value, but not really. They would fuck the economy if it meant that, like, they would send interest rates to like 50%. They would do 5,000 basis point increase if it meant that the dollar would basically, not hyperinflate, and they could keep printing money over time and completely stop the economy, because your jobs and your lives don't matter. Their ability to print dollars matters the most.
At today's meeting, the committee decided to lower the target range for the federal funds rate by a quarter percentage point to 4 to 4.25%, and to continue reducing the size of our balance sheet. Changes to government policies continue to evolve, and their effects on the economy remain uncertain. Higher tariffs have begun to push up prices in some categories of goods, but their overall effects on economic activity and inflation remain to be seen. A reasonable base case is that the effects on inflation will be relatively short-lived, a one-time shift in the price level. But it is also possible that the inflationary effects could instead be more persistent, and that is a risk to be assessed and managed.
And that is a risk that I'm willing to take for you guys. Our gain, your losses.
Obligation is to ensure that a one-time increase in the price level does not become an ongoing inflation problem. In the near term, risks to inflation are tilted to the upside and risks to employment to the downside, a challenging situation. When our goals are intentioned like this, our framework calls for us to are tilted to the upside and risks to employment to the downside, a challenging situation. When our goals are intentioned like this, our framework calls for us to balance both sides of our dual mandate. With downside risks to employment having increased, the balance of risks has shifted. Accordingly, we judged it appropriate at this meeting to take another step toward a more neutral policy stance. With today's decision, we remain well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments. We will continue to determine the appropriate stance of monetary policy based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. In our SEP, FOMC participants wrote down their individual assessments of an appropriate path for the federal funds rate, based on what each participant judges to be the most likely scenario for the economy. The median participant projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 3.6% at the end of this year, 3.4% at the end of 2026, and 3.1% at the end of 2027.
Let's rewind a little bit. We got to hear that again. That's the sauce.
FOMC participants wrote down their individual assessments of an appropriate path for the federal funds rate, based on what each participant judges to be the most likely scenario for the economy. The median participant projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 3.6% at the end of.
So that means from current levels, that means 50 more basis point cuts for this year. That means either we get 50 basis points in October or we get 25 and another one in December. Interesting. I literally sounded like the leprechaun from the hood.
Interesting.
After me, pot of gold. Gotta hear that shit back. God damn.
Each participant judges to be the most likely scenario for the economy. The median participant projects that the appropriate
Please, God. 50 basis points in October. Oh, shit. We off, dogs. October is here, dudes. God damn. And we ain't going to be on YouTube. Sheesh.
Level of the federal funds rate will be 3.6% at the end of this year, 3.4% at the end of 2026.
3.4%. That's the kind of gay shit that they're saying. So they're kind of saying, like, we're only going to do one cut in 26. I don't know. That seems hopeful.
And 3.1% at the end of 2027.
So what he's saying is we're going to get we're going to get 50 basis points more cuts this year, one cut in 26 and one cut in 27. What is thy smoking?
Nigga!
Oh. Did he just really just come out of his fucking mouth? He's like, we're going to cut 2 more times this year. One time next year, one time in 27. Huh? What?
Fuck you mean?
Fuck you mean you ain't nasty? That's insane. I can't believe you said that.
It will be 3.6% at the end of this year, 3.4% at the end of 2026, and 3.1% at the end of 2027. This path is 1/4 percentage point lower than projected in June. As is always the case, these individual forecasts are subject to uncertainty, and they're not a committee plan or decision.
All right, let me tell you where we're going long term. Rates, if Trump has anything to do with it, is very likely going to be, we're somewhere in by early 27, probably going to be in the mid 2s. I think the actual Fed's fund rate's probably going to go to like 2% or 2.25 or something like that. I think that's where we're going to stay at. I don't think we go back to like 1% rates or some shit like that, unless the economy just turbo nukes and then we just need to like save it basically, which is maybe that's secretly what they're waiting. They're kind of like, we need to keep a bullet in the chamber in order to like lower rates fast enough and stuff to go to 0. But like us going from 2% to 0 is basically sending it basically. He's gone in May. He's May 12th. This is his last day. Who, if this boy didn't cut today, it was assassination season.
Policy is not on a preset course. The Fed has been assigned 2 goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to supporting maximum employment, bringing inflation sustainably to our 2% goal, and keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country.
You understand.
Everything we do is in service to our public mission, and we at the Fed will do everything we can.
As a motherfucker, you've been taking food out of my fucking family's mouth is what you've been doing, you motherfucker. Jesus, dude.
That our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission, and we at the Fed will do.
One day I'm gonna catch him at the Win, at the sandwich shop or something, and I'm just gonna run up to him and say, "We need to talk." I'm going live, like, brother, why aren't you cutting, dude? Holy shit!
Do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you. I look forward to our discussion.
Yeah, Miguel from The Onion.
Great. Thank you. Chris Ruge.
So, a lot of good information. Actually, like, I was really afraid that he wasn't going to say the interest rate parts and he wasn't going to, in terms of like the projections, as well as I didn't really think he was going to end up just going that hard in the paint in terms of like transit. He said, like, he basically said the tariffs are transitory, which right? The French were giving us problems, and then we say, oui, 30% tariffs on wine and cheese. We sorry.
Oh, no.
We give up. So it's a part of a public mission. That's right. But, you know, basically Jerome right here, I mean, my God, man, there's a lot of fuck ups here. But yeah, this was really action packed. He gave quite a lot of stuff. his estimates are just off so bad. Like it's the only reason he would try to keep it that high. Like the 26 is like, I mean, it's kind of like if it's only one cut, I guess 27 is complete. Like what the fuck? No, that's so far. Like no. So he was saying like we have another 50 basis points of cuts this year, one next year, and one in 27. What are you smoking? The only thing I can think of is like, oh yeah, the fucking market's gonna fucking tank. So like we have to drop interest rates to 0. So we need to keep it at 3% so that it's significant enough to rebound us without us money printing. And then if we have to money print, then we'll money print 3 days later with TARP bailouts like we did for the fucking 08 or whatever. Is what you're telling me. And two, they also let they're also still letting the balance sheet run off because why are they doing that? Because I mean, obviously they're afraid there's gonna be some big economic crash at some point. I mean, real estate's getting fucked, and it's mostly the people who bought in 2020 and 21 and 22 and 23 with no equity or their equity basically going to like even or down. All my bros that bought back in 2009 to 2019 are still massively up right now, even in Las Vegas. There are people that are buying like 250,000 shitters. Their house is still worth like 450, like 500 right now. Even if it goes down another 100 grand, they'll still be in equity. But other people not so lucky. And their interest rate was at 0, which in reality is like good. I mean, maybe if they got a gangster ass loan, 2%, but probably 3%, low 3s, still really good. And that's at 0% interest rates. But the gains train's going by. You hear it? But Jesus. That's a whole lot of money. That was a whole lot of money in this motherfucker. But as the like, so the interest rates are coming down, but like these rates are coming down, so it's going to start pushing more people to post their housing or their house on the market, but it's going to create more of a glut. There's already a huge glut here and even in Vegas, so there's going to be it's a lot of money. Yeah, it's still going. God damn. Whew. It's sort of like a crypto, like when Charlie used to be in Japan, he's like, it's a crypto emergency, you know, what the Avalanche going by. Yeah. But there's a huge amount of like glut will come on, so prices are going to go down. So this is why I say like, I at least wait if you're going to buy. Like right now, houses are just keep going down. They're going to keep going down because like everyone's retarded and buys their house in the summer. Everyone does it. Watch it. When did you buy your house? July. Damn it, Miguel. You son of a bitch. But I have a reason. The low is in.
If you bought in July, don't lie.
Bought in July, don't lie. But I fucking sold in May and got away. But there's a lot of like buyers that just didn't want to take their house down. Like last year in the summer was probably one of the last good times to really sell their house because they still were getting pretty much close to top dollar. They could have just reduced another 100 grand, got sold, and then right now they're like chilling. But you know, yeah, the RH pegging train takes a while to pass. It's still going.
It's still going.
Damn.
It's still going.
Damn, boy. Damn. But so like I've said before, my speculation is a residential real estate. Not commercial. Residential real estate's probably bottoming December of 26 to summer of 27. Because by then rates will go even more down. Eventually it'll get to a point where there's an equilibrium where like the refinancing is now worth it. And it's not worth it, or people can also stomach buying at a higher interest rate, but the interest rate's like not high. The prices have gone down and the interest rate's higher, but the interest rate has lowered enough where like the payment makes sense for people to relocate. There's a lot of trapped capital there, and then there's the refinance motherfuckers just like, let me pull money out of my house. So like that'll cause a lot of that. Those people who get the refinance will then take the money, probably put it in the stock market where it's more liquid and make more money. And like kind of like Tom Lee's been saying for a while now too, is like, I think we're in a bull run right now. We definitely are. If you just look demographically, millennials are going to be running this bitch until 2035, give or take, technically longer until the 2040s. But in terms of like, there's kind of like a speculative peak section, like 1999 was boomers, 2018 was Xers, millennials is 2035. Remember, the tops happened a couple years later. There's kind of a like, when was the top? There's a 99 was a really good year for stocks. 2000 was crazy. 2001 was the top. There's the dot bomb boom or bust. We had a reflation there, and then 9/11 and 9/11, which really just took it all out. So like that was 1 year off to a year and a half off. 2018, when was the top? 21. So like that was a couple years out. So maybe it was a little, so that's about a 3-year difference. And so 2035, maybe it's 2038 or 2039 or 2040. So somewhere in there, it could be taught. And then that'll be that's when the real drop happens. And then, yeah, basically, I forgot what your guys is, Kyle. I think your guys is, if I remember correctly, is 44,
44, yeah.
or 2044, if I remember correctly. Sky reposted this stream. Thank you. You think we're overdue for a recession? We've been in one. We've been in one for a while. Like, you don't think 22 and 23 were out of recession? Like, it was so bad under Obama. Biden, that they had to change how they, like, normally if you get 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth, you were in a recession. They're like, it's kind of whatever we say now. So it now went to like, basically we have to be in a negative GDP growth for a whole year to count it as a recession. When it's, if I remember correctly, it's like once you're in a recession and it lasts longer than, Kyle, I think like 6 months, yep, you're now in a recession and stuff like that. So they've been cooking the numbers. So we hit multiple times recession levels, like probably we hit a recession twice, probably like in 22 and then 23 again and stuff. Obama, Bin Laden, Osama, same thing, same difference. Exactly. So put me back on the screen, Kyle. I think that was a good enough explanation of what's going on. So we're going to go. So this is always interesting stuff. So there's always really great. Bloomberg always asks great questions and stuff. There's a couple of players in here as well. The Google, like actually, Google Finance. Yahoo Finance usually asks some good questions in here too. But so let's see if they put his feet to the fire.
Favorite Associated Press. As you know, Fed Governor Stephen Myron has kept his position at the White House, even as he's joined the Fed board. This is the first time, I believe, the Fed's board has had someone with executive branch ties in decades. Does this compromise the Fed's independence from day-to-day politics? And relatedly, how can you maintain the public's perception the Fed is politically independent with this dynamic? Thank you.
So we did welcome a new.
So what they just asked them is, yeah, your boy Trump is like starting to instate people inside the board governors. Doesn't this mean you guys are just a part of the Treasury? Part of it? Doesn't that mean you're not independent? Which I said was going to start happening if they kept playing political games. They should have been easing for a long time. They've been playing. I don't know why Jerome's been playing with the lefties, but obviously they've been doing it to basically retard the first year of Trump's presidency to make him look bad. I mean, that's all. What else is there to slow it down? Because if they showed off like, oh, we start lowering interest rates and then all the shit Trump's doing, then the economy is going gangster. Fuck, these Republicans are right. And now all the Zoomers are Republican. God damn it. Now everyone thinks lefties are retards. And they are. And then Charlie Kirk. Who thinks the Fed isn't political? They are obviously a little bit, but they usually work pretty like whoever's in office, they help. Yep. They help the Bushes, they help the Obamas, they helped Obamas again. They helped the Clintons. I mean, it's yeah. It's like when Palpatine put Anakin on the Jedi Council.
That's Palpatine's face right there.
That's a lot more funnier than I thought it was going to be. I should be a Jedi Master, but I don't know why I am not. I've been winning the whole war for you guys. What the fuck is happening? I'm going to kill a bunch of kids in the council. Na, 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 na. Damn, that might be the comment of the day. Sheesh.
Committee member today, as we always do, and the committee remains united in pursuing our dual mandate goals. We're strongly committed to maintaining our independence, and beyond that, I really don't have anything to share.
Ooh. He's like, I'm sorry. I don't want to answer this question. Fuck y'all.
Yep.
Is what he said. Yeah.
Can you and other Fed officials have spoken extensively about the impact of tariffs on inflation?
Okay.
Although perhaps with many companies appearing to eat the tariffs,
most companies, what they do is if they have a tariff, usually what ends up happening is that if they have large profits and they just feel that their consumer can't take it, it will just eat into their profits. Mm-hmm. But most companies eventually find a way to raise prices to pass along that's why it's like a one-time cost usually. So it's like if there's a 15% tariff, eventually you might get like a 7.5% increase on the product, or if it's like a really like very tight margin sort of product or something like that, they just think the whole thing like agricultural like products and stuff, like let's say like kiwis or fucking or corn, or where like the margin's already slim already, they'll just have to pass the whole cost along instantly just because there's not that much margin there.
Maybe impacting the labor market and other parts of the economy instead. Do you see that as a possible outcome here, that tariffs are the reason we're seeing some?
And like Ricky Romero is absolutely correct. You know, the Fed lowered interest rates while the CPI was at 3.3%. During the Biden era. Should tell you everything. I know. Political. They wanted to help. And what was Biden's last year? What year was that? Was that 24? 4. Yeah, 24, right? Yeah, 24. That was the election. Yeah. 24. Yeah. Fooling. Solana season.
And
50,
season.
When was it? When did that 50 basis point happen? Around the time Solana was running.
Slowing, particularly in the labor market, rather than in inflation.
It's certainly possible. We're beginning to see. We have begun to see.
Damn it, Tony!
Goods prices showing through into.
We accept Trump's appointment, but we do not grant him the title of master. All right, you get the star of the day, dog. The star of the day. I almost slipped up.
Tariffs are the reason we're seeing some slowing, particularly in the labor market, rather than in inflation.
It's certainly possible. We're beginning to see. We have begun to see goods prices showing through into higher inflation, and actually, the increase in goods prices accounts for most of the increase in inflation, or perhaps all of the increase in inflation over the course of this year. Those are not very large effects at this point, and we do expect them to continue.
I do say, like, in terms of me personally, the biggest cost I've seen to the cost of living for me has been the price of meat going absolutely parabolic, but it's now stabled off. It's not going up anymore.
Yeah.
But like, god damn, these steaks is getting expensive.
Dog, they used to be like $50, get you four prime steaks.
No, 40. It was $40 for prime.
At Costco, right? Yeah,
$40 for prime ribeye or whatever, or New York strip and shit. Yep. And then like, if you got the regular kind, of be like $25.
$25, yeah.
$25.
So it's like, all right, cool.
Dog, it's $80. $80 depending on the pack and shit. I've seen some packs going for $100 for prime. For prime. Motherfuckers.
To build over the course of the rest of the year and into next year.
As a matter of fact, 13% of the population eats almost 80% of the meat. You know
And it's also possible and that there may be effects on unemployment, but that I would say if you're looking at why employment is doing what it's doing, that's much more about the change in immigration. So the supply of workers has obviously come way down. There's very little growth, if any, in the supply of workers. And at the same time, demand for workers has also come down quite sharply, and to the point where we see what I've called a curious balance. It's typically when we say things are in balance, that sounds good, but in this case, the balance is because both supply and demand have come down quite sharply. Now demand coming down a little more sharply because we now see the unemployment rate edging up.
Oh, look at the rock. Yeah. Yeah, these finance bitches get the man on lock, bro. Man. Oh, nice. That's a good alert. Most is pumping more. Nice. Anyway, so what was I doing? Oh, yeah. So pretty much. I mean, let me just go back a little bit, actually. Just because that was a really good point.
On unemployment, but that I would say if you're looking at why employment is doing what it's doing, that's much more about the change in immigration. So the supply of workers has obviously come way down. There's very little.
So that is part of it. Now, obviously, like a lot of the immigrants are getting rid of, like it's Latino immigrants and stuff. Should be more African immigrants, if we're being fucking honest, and Indian immigrants. Let's be real here. Let's be real. But I digress. Especially in the field, like, I think Trump's buckling on this. He's going to allow immigration back into because, like, basically, like the farming side of the America is like struggling really bad. Like right now, like there's a lot of fruits that are not in stock right now, like plums, for example. For guys in the bodybuilding, plums are really good because it allows you to take a shit. Unless you're taking Metamucil or whatever. But like,
That fiber.
but plums are really good and stuff like there's no plums anywhere in Targets or, I mean, there's only like one brand that has plums still, which is like Sunkiss, which is like, you know, the ones you when you're a little kid, like the little brand where it's like the little red one for the raisins and stuff. So there's a lot like fruit prices are going up a lot. And there's actually no fruit in some places, legitimately. I think immigration should be used for farming still. Well, yeah, I mean, that's what it was. I mean, yeah, I mean, of course. Like, I mean, it's where it's absolutely needed. There's no, I mean, like they can move to prune juice. Well, the most reason I don't like prune juices more is because you don't got like, I mean, you basically on the prune juice side, all jokes aside, there's no like it's just fucking sugar water. Yeah, it does help you poop, I guess, but like
Just a shit ton of added sugar.
just shit ton of added sugar. Where like the other one, like with like for one, you can moderate yourself. You can just eat like 4 or 5 like of them. They're dried, and because they have all that, they're not molded down. You absorb them slower, so your insulin isn't spiking as crazy. You need fiber from fruit. Yeah, like juicing is gay. Juicing is super homosexual. Like, I mean, I like carrot juice. It's incredible, but like, it's still pretty bad for you, you know, in terms of like, it's like fruit, like mango juice. Like, what do we like? These juices are terrible, dude. Like, no, juice, you want to eat the actual fruit itself. And so if you're going to eat a mango, you might as well eat a real mango because it got the fiber in there. And that way you won't get diabetes as fast, I guess. Yeah, juicing's hella gay. Fruit, not what I inject into my synthol arms. NVIDIA makes special light that kills weeds from farming. Yeah, definitely. It's all going up there, but you need hands and shit. But also another thing too, you know, like here's another thing. They started deporting a lot of people, right? Consumer spending went down. Well, yeah, the people who are working these jobs, I mean, they're getting exploited. Some are just, you know, making money or whatever, but they're still getting exploited. They're not spending in grocery stores that much. Like right now, Target just released back to school month is here, and their sales, I mean, foot traffic's down 4.6%. Who's having kids? Immigrants? You deport mom and dad, the kids ain't going to school anymore. Don't you get some amount of sugar from eating it as you would drinking it? So yeah, it's technically the same amount. It's just the sugar absorbs into your blood slower, so you don't get these huge insulin spikes, which makes you fatter, basically. So yes, same amount of sugar, just the time. It might be like the whole sugar. Don't shoot me here. I'm not, you know, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a fucking like doctor here, but like if like or nutritionist, I should say. But doctors don't know shit about nutrition or roids. They don't know shit really. They know how to help you if you break your leg, but to keep it from diabetes, I don't know. But basically, when you let's just say a prune, right? The prune would the full absorb. Let's say one prune was 10 grams of sugar, as an example. It would basically hit my bloodstream at one at a time, one every 20 minutes, as an example, and then I would get the full 10 grams of sugar within 4 hours. Where if I drank prune juice, I would get 10 grams in 30 minutes in one shot. Or maybe like 10 grams or like 5 grams in 1 hour, basically the full, you know, that's the big difference. Is that's what keeps you from getting diabetes. You keep spiking your sugar. That's why sodas are so bad for you. Is like, if you drink a lot of soda, you're just putting on extra calories from like empty calories, basically. What about baby formula? Prices are high. Pay $44 to get goat formula. Yeah, but sometimes your baby just doesn't want that. Yes, that's this like this. I've learned this. Like you have to you try to feed your baby what you can, but sometimes they come out the box bougie. Like, nah.
Come on,
I only like that. Like my son, he's like, I only like Cambodian fucking titty milk.
Yeah,
like
highest quality,
you know, Cambodian and shit, right? Something $80. I don't know, but you know, like it all your kids are different. You know, sometimes your chick's done milking, you know, and then you have to use formula and stuff. So this is like I don't know. I found out like the Bloods and the Crips on YouTube and shit and on Instagram, like Mommyville is like, I didn't know this. There's a huge like. Basically, you're a bitch ass girl if you don't make milk or some shit. And there's a huge like, how dare you feed your kid formula and shit. I'm like, bitch, you take dick in the ass. Yeah, shut the fuck up. But like all jokes aside, but like sometimes like your chick's is done, you know, just can't make breast milk anymore because something happens and you got to feed them formula. It just is what it is. But sometimes the kid also doesn't take certain formula. So you just got to do what you keep your kid alive. And then as soon as there's solid foods, you feed them the best you can, you know. Like one thing I do is we blend up like, fully cooked egg, no salt or nothing, right? In olive oil or in butter. And we blend it into like some of like our homemade soups and stuff that we give him and stuff so we can eat it. And he's like, yum, 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 yum. Like you should like
bulk them up, bro.
Bulk them. Yeah. But like your kid should be eating like an egg a day just because the choline's really good for their fucking brain development.
Huge.
And like they make like 70 or 80% of their brain development and not what they know, but just the size of their brain and the development of it, like by age 2. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah, I can agree. As a type 1 diabetic, juice spikes up your sugar levels. Yeah. Yeah. Miguel's getting chicken. Yeah. Yeah. Little Miguel's getting chicken. Literally getting chicken. Chicken noodle soup. He's like, yes. He's gotten my appetite for salty foods. He loves salt. He's not supposed to have it, but like I think we fucked up one time. And we like gave him like I don't know, was it chicken noodle soup from like Chick-fil-A?
Oh,
which that's probably better than most of them out here in these. I mean, that's like there's a hierarchy of these fast food places, but like I'm not giving my kid fast food, but like we gave him a little broth. He was like, I literally heard this little dude go,
Like it
this shit hit. He was like, yum, yum. And I tasted it. Oh, it's salty as fuck. You are my child. But yes, chicken. Little, yeah. Michael getting chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's so little, you got to blend it up. And then we put an egg in there, and he's like, me smart. Anyway, I don't know what I was doing, but yeah, let's go back.
Growth, if any, in the supply of workers. And at the same time, demand for workers has also come down quite sharply. And
certain fields. And also, here's the thing, another part that's not really being talked about too much. I wonder if it'll talk about this. AI is starting to displace people. Like basically, like there's no hiring really on the white collar side. The white collar side is basically stagnant because AI is like starting to, like, basically if you're a content creator and you're not making that much money, you use AI tools to make your reels. If you do have money, you go more boutique. So it's going to be like you go for talent. So guys who are really good at making reels are going to capture jobs, but the guys who are shit at reels get replaced. And that's just on the Instagram and Twitter and fucking content side.
And that's just for this time period now.
Right now, yeah. Like
that's not even 4 or 5 years in the future when AI is even better.
Yeah, accounting is going to get destroyed. HR, I hope, please more. Basic coding is getting annihilated.
Yep.
Of course, if you're the top of your skill or you're famous, or you're well known, you're going to always have work. But you don't need a lot of salt and electrolytes living. Yes, you do, obviously. Shout out to Santa Cruz Paleo. Yeah, shout out to him. He recently did an event in LA and it was so mobbed up.
Oh yeah.
That like they had to run away.
Yeah.
They couldn't open the doors. They literally were bashing people back with surfboards. Like they were like pushing surfboards away. And eventually what they did is there was like a big meet and greet to give away stuff. So they took out 2 duffel bags full of like the electrolyte salts and they were just like threw them in the middle of the crowds and they fucking ran for it. Pretty crazy. HR workers using AI to reply to emails. Yeah, so it's good. So basically, if you know how to use it, you'll keep your job. But over time, like your job eventually might get replaced, or you have to find. Eventually, you have to just create your own business.
Yeah,
and do it and stuff. AI will Thanos snap immigrants. Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be there. I mean, overall, I think we're going to peak right now in I think we peaked in immigration already here in the States, no matter what, because like we're not going to need Indian immigrants. We're not going to need like Latino immigrants that much anymore. I think there still will be some on certain like farming, maybe on if there's a construction boom, I think that'll happen again.
Yeah.
But at least on the foreign ones like African and Indian, I think that's peaked completely. Unless we just let them in like Chinese, like for I don't know, for something happens. Everyone's going to be a contractor.
Yeah.
So, but then eventually there'll be like you're going to have a company where like you basically have a giant machines. You're going to have 5 employees, and you're just going to like once it's framed and it has its like utilities, it's going to be like 3D printing housing is happening. I know it's always been said, but in 20 years it'll be legit. It'll be out here. Like maybe like 10 years from now, you'll have the start of it, like a small like.
Well, there's already like a little start of it.
Yeah, but it's shit. Yeah, it's concrete. It's kind of like concrete, like slime trail houses.
Yeah,
but eventually it'll get better. Basically, Canadian will take all of India. Yeah, I'm shocked. Canada doesn't grow pear and just deports everybody. I just go full Rick Owens. No, I'm sure full Rick Owens. But yeah,
to the point where we see. What I've called a curious balance. It's typically when we say things are in balance, it sounds good, but in this case, the balance is because both supply and demand have come down quite sharply. Now demand coming down a little more sharply because we now see the unemployment rate edging up.
Nick Timros of the Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, do economic conditions and the balance of risks no longer warrant a restrictive policy setting?
So I don't think we can say that. But what we can say is this, that over the course of this year, we've kept our policy at a restrictive level, and people have different views, but a clearly restrictive level, I would say. So, and we were able to do that over the course of this year because the labor market was in very solid condition with strong job creation and all those things. I think if you go back to April and now look at the revised job creation numbers for May, June, July, and August, I can no longer say that. So what that means is that the risks were clearly tilted toward inflation. I would say they're moving toward equality. Maybe they're not quite out of equality. We don't need to know that, but we do know that they've moved meaningfully toward greater equality, the risks between the two goals, and that suggests that we should be moving in the direction of neutral, and that's what we did today.
Under what circumstances would a larger than 25 basis points rate cut be warranted, and how seriously was that option entertained at your meeting this week?
There wasn't widespread support at all for a 50 basis point cut today. You know, I think we've done very large rate hikes and very large rate cuts in the last 5 years, and you tend to do those at a time when you feel that policy is out of place and needs to move quickly to a new place. That's not at all what I feel certainly now. I feel like our policy has been doing the right thing so far this year. I think we were right to wait and see how tariffs and inflation and the labor market evolved. I think we're now reacting to the much lower level of job creation and other evidence of softening in the labor market and saying, well, those risks are maybe not fully balanced, but moving in the direction of balance now. And so that warrants a change in policy.
Colby Smith with the New York Times. Should we be viewing today's cut as the committee taking out some insurance against the possibility that the labor market is at risk of weakening? Or is it the committee's view that the dynamics of a downturn are already in place? I guess I'm just trying to square the shift in the rate forecast in the SEP towards more cuts than just 3 months ago with the fact that the forecast for unemployment didn't change.
Yeah, I think you could think of this in a way as a risk management cut, because if you look at the SEP, actually,
the numbers didn't change. Yes, they did. There was like literally 1 million jobs redacted that didn't exist from there was the numbers are cooked. I think the Fed needs to say out here is honestly, we do not trust the data coming out. All government data is inherently basically skewed and wrong. We are going to have now a mandate that we are going to go back to previous 1974 or whatever the fuck things are like. A recession is counted. We're going to officially announce when we're in a recession based on the data that we track. We're still getting use the same government data, but we're going to backtrack to the old metrics, which still are not perfect, but it's better than everybody else. He's like, look at Chinese data. He said that shit, the market would be like, fuck you. It would be kind of funny. But that's what they should do is say, yeah, we're in a recession right now. We believe we're in a recession. The government data is not saying that officially, but we are under classical terms of what a recession is. And then also we've adjusted the Fed has now our version of CPI, which is back to the classic. We track it over a 2-year average. It should be a 3-year average, actually. It should be better, but a 2-year average instead of 1 year.
The projections for growth this year and next actually ticked up just a little bit, and inflation and unemployment didn't really move much. So what's different now? What's different now is that you see a very different picture of the risks to the labor market. You've seen, we were looking at 150,000 jobs a month at the time of the last meeting, and now we see the revisions and we see the new numbers. And I don't want to put too much emphasis on payroll job creation, but it's just one of the things that suggests that the labor market is really cooling off. And that tells you that it's time to.
Yeah, it's most of the job numbers are like, fuck, dude. So we're holding out a little bit because we're trying to hurt Trump here, but these Biden numbers are coming in. It's horrible. And then every jobs number gets redacted so fucking bad. They even made comments saying this is horrible. Every number is just getting destroyed. It wasn't this one. It was a previous one where it was a 90% reduction on the number of jobs they said that got created. And they're like, no, those actually didn't exist. Who raised you? Where are you pulling these numbers from? And then a month later, they're like, we believe over 1 million jobs were actually fakely reported. Damn.
To to take that into account in our, in our policy.
So just looking at the SEP, once again, the median participant has inflation higher than previously expected by the end of next year, and the Fed not getting back to the 2% target until 2028. So I guess I'm just wondering how you characterize the risk to price pressures of kicking off a series of cuts at this point.
Yeah, so I would look at it this way. We fully understand and appreciate that we need to remain fully committed to restoring 2% inflation on a sustained basis, and we will do that. At the same time, we've got to weigh the risks to the two goals. And I would say since April, to me, the risks of higher and more persistent inflation have probably become a little less. And that's partly because the labor market has softened, GDP growth has slowed. So I would just say that the risks there have been less than one might think. And in terms of the labor market, what we're seeing is unemployment is still low. It's still a relatively low rate, but we're seeing downside risks.
Yeah. So the transitory fucking like tariff stuff's starting to blow over a little bit, and then we know with like these job numbers that demand's going to go down, and all the people getting deported and stuff. That's also money not being like spent here in the economy. That it's going down. Basically, so then we can be more aggressive and try to like essentially increase the money supply by just other means, just basically through demand printing. Oh, finger, what?
Michael McKee from Bloomberg Radio and Television. I'm a little confused by your explanation of I'm a little confused by your explanation of the Fed cutting rates because of unemployment. If you think that most of what's happening in the employment area is related to immigration, which your rate cuts wouldn't address, how do you see that as more important than inflation, which has remained almost a full percentage point above your target?
Well, I was saying that what's happening in the labor market has more to do with immigration than it has to do with tariffs. That was the question I was answering. So I wouldn't say that all of what's happening in the labor market is due to tariffs. I mean, you clearly have a slowing in it.
It's multiple factors. The immigration, the deporting people, like, isn't helping. But on the other side, it's also AI, which is just starting to affect the labor market now on traditional white collar jobs. That's why they care. My blue collar guys are fucking like stressed out because there's so much work right now.
Oh,
if you have a plumbing company, electrician, a fucking landscaper with actual route and stuff, not just like you're starting off. If you're not starting off a business right now, but like you've been in business for a while, business is a booming, bro. I got some guys in the tree service industry right now making cheddar. So much they're getting married.
Custom gutters, dog.
Yeah, they're making money and stuff. Yeah, because nobody, basically all the millennials, like the like as an example, like I'm making this number up a little bit, but let's just say there should have been 15. Maybe this number's a little too high. There should have been another 10 million more millennials in the blue collar trades, but they went to white collar because of the whole like lies of all the lies that's happened in social media and in basically social media and like the TradFi kind of industrial sort of TV complex to get us to go to college. They went into white collar stuff, and now they're on the back foot. I mean, because look, I'm a younger millennial. I'm in my early 30s, right? Like, if you're starting the blue collar shit now, damn, you're behind the 8 ball a lot, you know. And let me tell you this: when I was 18 in 2019, 2019. Well, I keep making myself younger every stream.
I was 17 then.
Like, I start one stream with like white stripes on my hair, and then as the stream progresses, my hair turns blacker and blacker and blacker. Jet black hair. No, but when I was 18 in 2009, I was looked at as a fucking retard fool for going into the trades. Yep. I mean, literally, everyone was like, "You're fucking like, what do you do?" Like, basically, it's like, so. I mean, it was so bad that like I pretended to go to college. So I was like, "Oh, soy yendo al colegio, soy trabajando, pero soy yendo al colegio también."
Yeah.
Oh, okay, no eres tan menso.
Yeah, literally.
And then eventually, at some point, I said, "I don't care. Fuck you guys. You guys are poor."
Mm-hmm.
Especially once we got it to 24. Like, once I got to branch 24, and everyone around me was also 24 and 25 and 28. Like, nah, dude. Yeah, it's because no one's doing any of that work. And the thing is too, like all the older landscapers, all the older contractors, they're all retiring and like too, their bodies ain't working anymore, and then they're having trouble too keeping guys on the jobs and stuff because people, you just start your own thing.
Yeah,
and it's just tough, dude.
Social media blowing shit up, people making businesses super quick, man. It's a bunch of flipping.
Yeah, man, and there's money out here, man. But the thing is, there's no you could be kind of like not that great. You could be okay. But because there's no one else doing it, you got the business. And then too, if you're smart enough to look at like where can I get a monopoly, that's what I did. I looked at where can I get a monopoly. All these all my competition was trying to work near the coast. I went more inland, and just controlled entire sectors.
Go on the mountains.
Believe it or not, it says I listened to that Peter Thiel thing like 0 to 1.
Oh,
whatever like you don't want competition, you want a monopoly, and that's exactly what I did.
Due to immigration, you clearly have a slowing in demand, which is now perhaps more than that in supply, and we know that because the unemployment rate has ticked up. So, that's what I meant by that.
Follow up. Every year since 2015, the SEP has forecast that you would hit your target 2 years later, and this year, this SEP says you're going to hit your target 2 years later. 2% does not seem to be in sight. Does that suggest that the
Oh my God. So your previous meeting said you're going to hit it in 2 years. 2 years later, now you're saying it's 2 more years.
2015, the SEP has forecast that you would hit your target 2 years later. And this year, this SEP says you're going to hit your target 2 years later. 2% does not.
Damn, bars, bruh.
Seem to be in sight. Does that suggest that the 2% target is not really achievable? And does this present any credibility problems for you in telling people that that's what you're going to do if you can never reach it?
Well, I mean,
he didn't like it. He saw that little microaggression. He was like, this motherfucker.
Facial expression.
Damn, he was like, oh, hell no, dude.
Right there.
Yeah, he's like, this motherfucker
has ticked up. So, that's what I meant by that.
We can follow up. Every year since 2015, the SEP has forecast that you would hit your target 2 years later. And this year, this SEP.
What is that? 10 years of 2 years later?
Shit.
Damn. You think 2 more weeks is bad? 2 more years.
Just 2 more.
2 more years. 2 more years. Damn, bro, he can't even fight it, bro. He's getting cooked on. He's getting fucking fillet. Now, obviously, at the time, I don't think yeah, 15, I don't think he was instated, but I think he was instated in 16, if I remember right. So, like, that was his previous person, but damn, getting roasted, man.
Says you're going to hit your target 2 years later. 2% does not seem to be in sight. Does that suggest that the 2% target is not really achievable? And does this present any credibility problems for you in telling people that that's what you're going to do if you can never reach it?
Well, I mean, you're right. It does say we're going to get to 2% inflation in 2028 at the end of 28. But that's literally how you put the projections together. You're writing down a rate path, which is designed to create over the course of the SEP, time frame, 2% inflation and maximum employment too. So that's all that is.
This is how I would have rebutted. Yeah, but if I was a contractor and I'd said, this job's going to be done in 2 years, and every 2 years I keep saying it's going to be another 2 years to get it done, and it's been 10 years and the job isn't done. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
That's right. We're milking the government dry. That's right.
No one really knows where the economy will be in 3 years, but the nature of the exercise is to write down policy that you believe would return to the 2% goal over at least by the end of the exercise.
Thanks so much, Elizabeth Schulze with ABC News. The latest inflation report shows that prices are still going up across key categories for many households, including groceries. What will the Fed do if prices pick up more?
So our expectation, and you can see this consistently through the year, is
we're going to lend more money to Capital One and Visa, and we're going Instacart now allows you to use credit to buy groceries and stuff. So
Yeah.
we're going to allow the spreading of credit to Americans to buy groceries. So this whole grocery problem is a bit of transitory right now.
Double the points though.
It's double the
It's 2x
points too as well.
too.
2 times points and stuff. I use it all the time.
Yeah.
Been that inflation will move up this year, but that the effect, basically because of the effects on goods prices from tariffs, but that those will turn out to be a one-time price increase as opposed to creating an inflationary process. That's been our forecast. Pretty much all the individual forecasts say that. We can't just assume that though, right? We have to. Our job is literally to make sure that that is what happens, and we will do that job. Right now, the situation we're in is that we see inflation. We continue to expect it to move up, maybe not as high as we would have expected it to move up a few months ago. The pass through of the tariffs into inflation has been slower and smaller. The labor market has softened. So the case for there being a persistent inflation outbreak is less. And so that's why we think it's time for us really to acknowledge that the risks to the other mandate have grown and that we should move in the direction of neutral. So what will we do? We'll do what we need to do, but we have two mandates and we try to balance them. For a long time, our framework says that when our two goals are in tension, this is quite an unusual situation. How do we decide what to do? Because our tools can't do two things at once. What we do is we ask which is farther from, how far is each from the goal and how long is it expected to get to the goal? So, and then we think about those things and we see, as I mentioned, our policy had been really skewed toward inflation for a long time, really. Now we see that there's downside risk clearly in the labor market, and so we're moving in the direction of more neutral policy.
How concerned are you about the slowdown in the jobs market for households at home, especially younger Americans struggling to land a job?
So it's an interesting labor market, and obviously we think it's appropriate that we reduce our rates so that we become more neutral, which presumably will be better for the labor market.
Fuck the young is what he said.
You see people who are sort of more at the margins. So kids coming out of college and younger people, minorities are having a hard time finding jobs. The overall job
minorities, the blacks, so to say.
And so kids coming out of college and younger people, minorities are having a hard time finding jobs. The overall job finding rate is very, very low. However, the layoff rate is also very low. So you've got a low firing, low hiring environment. And the concern is that if you start to see layoffs,
like low hiring and high firing. Well, yeah. So you find people in key positions, you don't want to let them go. I mean, like I've said, we're in a talent market now. Where like the cream rises to the top. Right. It's with AI, especially with AI coming along, it's hard to get the job. The thing is, too, people are using like you know what really was the problem? Like there's these overblown things like, hey, there's a job at Wendy's and there's 10,000 applicants. Well, because people are using these I think it's monster.com. They're using these job sites and stuff that basically just spam your shit everywhere. There's not really 10,000. There is 10,000 applications. It's because everyone's using these sites to spam out your fucking you're basically, hey, I'm looking for a job. These are my job qualifications. Spam it out to 15,000 employers within this region, and then that's why there's so many people. There's not really like 10,000 people knocking outside the door. I want a job at Wendy's. That's not really what's happening. And two, people are starting to use AI to push your shit out everywhere as well. You know, so. Yeah, it's really hard, but like if you're looking for a job, I mean, you tried to go to the fucking owner of the business if you can, and that is hard on these larger ones. You can't do that, but like in person is the most likely way you're going to get hired on a lot of stuff. It really is. Besides maybe just showing your skills or just word of mouth of you being really good at stuff. But yeah.
The people who are laid off there won't be a lot of hiring going on. So that could very quickly flow into higher unemployment. In a healthier economy, healthier labor market, there would be jobs for those people. But now the hiring rate is very, very low. So that's been a growing concern over the last few months. And it's one of the reasons why we think it's appropriate that we begin to shift our policy focus toward a more balanced one.
Yeah. I mean, they're feeling the pressure right now. This is why, like, very shockingly, they said that they're going to just for some people who just recently came in, they're going to do. It looks like they said another 50 basis points of cuts this year, which is kind of crazy. I'm still really only bagging in one more cut, but it's so if we believe what he says on face value, they're going to cut in October and they're going to cut in December, and then very strangely said they're going to cut once in 26 and one in 27, which doesn't really make sense at all. But maybe he said, fuck it, I'm going to cut one time in 26 and then until I'm fucking out of this bitch on May 12th, which is maybe what he said. So like if that happens and they did 100 basis point cuts between the end of the year and whatever, I mean, I would imagine I wouldn't be surprised that the cut happens sometime in April or in March when that happens and stuff. But interesting.
Steve Leisman, CNBC. Mr. Chair, in the past, during rate cuts, you used the word recalibration. And I wonder if you pointedly did not use it this time. And in fact, when you said policy is not on a preset course, did you mean that as sort of the opposite of recalibration? Are we meeting to meeting, data point by data point? Are we in the process here of getting back to neutral? Thank you.
So I think we're in a meeting by meeting situation. We're going to be looking at the data. You know what? Let me say a word about the SEP really here. So we often point this out. What the SEP is it's an accumulation of the individual projections of 19 people,
right now,
showing what they believe at a particular moment in time
he deserves
the
it.
most likely path for the economy and thus the appropriate path for monetary policy as well.
Regardless of
and as you know, we don't debate or try to agree on what that is. We just write them down and accumulate them. We do sometimes discuss them. And so we always say we're not on a preset path, and we really mean that. The actual decisions we make are going to be based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks at the time the decisions are actually made. So you will have seen that we have 10 participants out of 19 who wrote down 2 or more cuts for the remainder of the year, and 9 who wrote down fewer than, in fact, in a good number of.
Testing. Can you guys hear me? It's your mic, fool. My mic. Yeah, I'm gonna type one in the chat if you can hear me fine. Oh yeah, but that's fine. Of the thing, yeah. I'll just pause it when I talk then.
Cases, no more cuts. So rather than looking at this as certainty, I would encourage people, as always, to look at the SEP as through the lens of probability. And so there are different possible outcomes and likelihoods rather than this one is certain and this one isn't happening. So that's what I would say.
Thank you for getting to my follow-up question, which was, is the dispersion in the outlook a sign of uncertainty of policy in the meetings to come? Thank you.
You know, it is such an unusual situation. Ordinarily, when the labor market is weak, inflation is low. And when the labor market is really strong, that's when you gotta be careful about inflation. So we have a situation where we have two-sided risk. And that means
so we're in a very interesting predicament where, job creation and job hiring is low and inflation is still kind of high. And it's basically, we're coming off a COVID high. And really, like in reality, kind of like we cut interest rates to zero in basically the early 2010s, and we kept them there until 2021. Zero for let's just say in 2009 they started to cut the rates all the way to zero, but basically let's just say 2009. From 2009 to for 12 years, 0%, an entire decade of American history, zero. And then on top of that, money printing, massive amounts of money printing and stuff like that. So we're still running off this fucking this flu we got on right now. And it wasn't just off of tariffs, basically. This inflation was here because there was so much money printing that's happened, basically.
There's no risk-free path. And so it's quite a difficult situation for policymakers. And it's not at all surprising to me that you have a range of views. It's not so much about having different views for the path of the economy, but it's partly that, but it's also.
Can you imagine I put a massive bet on Polymarket and I keep getting people to ask them questions. Do you think it's unusual just to get them to say unusual enough times to hit the bet?
Partly about what's the right thing to do in light of this, of the tension between the two goals. How do you weight them? How worried are you about one versus the other? And so it's natural. I think it would actually be surprising if you didn't have a pretty wide range of views based, in this kind of highly unusual situation, and we do. So, but we get together, we discuss, we have a great discussion, and then we decide what to do and we act. But you're right there that it's a wide dispersion of views, and I think that's understandable and natural in the current situation.
Hi, Victoria Guida with Politico. You've talked a lot about Fed independence and the importance of it over the years, but as markets have questions about what exactly President Trump's intentions are with the Fed, what would you point to as the things they should be watching to determine that the Fed is still making decisions based on, the economic outlook rather than political considerations?
Look, it's deeply in our culture to do our work based on the incoming data and never consider anything else. That's just everybody who's at the Fed really feels strongly about that way. So
false. Absolutely a lie.
You'll know it by the way we talk about what we're doing, by the speeches that people give, by the decisions that we make. You'll know that we're just still going to do that. That's all we do. And we don't
put that El Flaco one up there. So pretty much 100%. Okay, you can't say 100%, but 99% chance we're going to get a cut in October. And off of what they've said right now, what he said in the beginning of the speech and stuff, it seems like we're going to get another cut in December now, which I wasn't anticipating that at all. So that's October and then kind of like party December, I guess. I mean, yeah, it's a bull market. I'm a little snowman. Yeah, so it's a good thing. It's like it looks like we're going into a really bullish fourth quarter. So about fucking time, man. And then look at all the things, macro stuff that's going on right now. We got guidance on how to launch ETFs. We had the Dogecoin and XRP ETFs go live today, ladies and gentlemen. There's going to be an ETF for AVAX. There's going to be ETF for Chainlink. There's going to be an ETF for Crow Token. There's going to be an ETF for Litecoin. There's going to be an ETF. I mean, the ETF. You get an ETF. You get an ETF. You get an ETF. And on top of that, we're in full-on Treasury season. You have a Treasury company, and you get a Treasury. You get $100 million. You get $1 billion. And we're also, guess what, in central bank digital currency land, which Charlie has a really great show on. I think every once a month or something like that. Or yeah. Got it. Yeah. So when Charlie ends up on quite a lot of shows talking about what's going on with the CBs, basically central bank digital currencies. Yeah, so the Q4 warning for the EU was the last one Charlie did. So definitely go back and go watch that. Obviously, Europe is way behind the 8 ball when it comes to they should have been in the crypto market much sooner. They should have had stable coins in euros. They're behind the ball right now. Yeah. Oh yeah, they're first to CBDC. And something interesting, you know what happened today, Charlie? AVAX South Korea just launched their central bank digital currency on AVAX today. My boy Kim Jong-un is fucking drooling right now. There's about to be some stuff. But so for people who don't know, put me on the screen, Kyle, for a second. Just the micro. Yeah. Yeah. So for you guys who don't know, we are launching the Crypto Mindset course tomorrow on the 19th. Tonight at midnight, the emails go out for all the guys who are on the email list. And congratulations. Hey, we're about to go live. We're going to be on YouTube for the rest of the month of September. And me and Charlie will not be on our YouTube channels for all the entire month of October. The 29th is the next cut. Very likely a 25 basis point cut. But depending on, they may just front load it and go 50 basis points now. They've literally promised, Jerome just said their guidance for this year is to lower it another 50 basis points more. Wow. So maybe if we're lucky, we get Maybe it's probably gonna be 25-25. That's more. That'd be kind of more even, right? But damn, if we get a 50 in October, nothing in December, and maybe a February or a March cut, that's enough right there that we're off the races. And then on top of that, in quarter one, we're getting IPO season of Kraken, Gemini, Crypto.com. And who's Crypto.com in bed with? The Trump administration. Interesting. Yes, so Fit Trucker's correct. So assume the discount code for the Citadel will be coming out tonight, and it'll be going out to everybody that's on the list and stuff. So you will get your code. Make sure to check your spam folder just in case, but it should go in your main folder. Got it. So yeah, so Saturday at noon at the latest, you'll have received your email. And some people always miss it or something. Just make sure you go back and because people get a lot of emails. But check your spam folder and you'll definitely receive it then. And yeah, I can't wait. We're about to go live. So we're gonna be on Fresh and Fit tomorrow. I believe at like 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I think tomorrow, and then on Monday around the same time as well for Money Mondays. And guess what? It looks like Mondays on the 22nd on the Monday is going to be probably a very green day, man. The market's going to go green. So yeah, we're getting good news after good news in the market, man. So I'm super fucking stoked right now, man. I can't wait, but I'm a little sad too. A part of me, I'm a little melancholy right now. Cause like, when the market's going crazy in October, we're going to be off of YouTube, but we're going to be there for the crypto mindset course, the Citadel, and the cash out course. So we're going to basically take care of the guys from the new cash out course. As soon as October is live, we're going to be taking care of the guys from the cash out course from October until the next crypto mindset course, which may not be until February. So you basically the whole end of the year to the beginning of the next year, we're going to be really taking care of our cash out course guys as well as the CMC and the Citadel, but we're also going to get a special alert at certain Bitcoin prices. We're going to be giving people kind of like, hey, head on a swivel time. We're in the rug range right now, and we're going to be taking some profits here in quarter four into probably USDC, and there will at some point in quarter four there will be a dip, and we will either rebuy back in December or maybe in January, with those profits, and then kind of run it up again while everyone's saying the bull market's over. So there you go, Kyle. Put me back up.
Frame these questions at all or see them in terms of political outcomes. I think when you get to another part of Washington, everything is seen through the lens of does it help or hurt this political party, this politician? That's the framework. And I think people find it hard to believe that that is not at all the way we think about things at the Fed. We're taking a longer perspective. We're trying to serve the American people as best we can. So I think you would be able to tell. I don't believe we'll ever get to that place. I would say we're doing our work exactly as we always have now, and they're making their arguments, and we're having a really great discussion around these challenging issues. So,
do you see the court case around Lisa Cook as being related to questions of Fed independence?
I see it as a court case that it would be inappropriate for me to comment on.
It is political. It's not that he caused the political thing. It was obviously Trump's trying to get Cook out of there. So, and it's right. It is kind of, he can't really talk about it, which, yeah, I understand. But, yeah, Trump's trying to get one of the blockers. So basically it's sort of like it's in a way, it's like, how can I get a new Supreme Court justice? Oh, we implicate this one for something bad. And then now there's a new space and I can put a new one in. That makes me more powerful, or at least more of a way. If one Fed governor is in his pocket, and then also he appoints the Fed chair, cuts cometh.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Edward Lawrence from Fox Business. So we saw the preliminary benchmark revisions down 911,000. The revisions for June were the first negative revisions we've seen since December of 2020. How can the Fed base important decisions on rate and what to do with the interest rates on data that seems to be, as you've called it in the past, noisy?
So on the QCEW, the revision that we saw was almost exactly what we expected. it was amazing how close the expectation was. So, and the reason for that is, for the last bunch of quarters, there's been almost a predictable overcount. And I think the Bureau of Labor Statistics really does understand this, and they're working hard to fix it. It's got to do, of course, it has something to do with low response rates, but it's also got to do with what's called the birth-death model, because a good amount of job creation happens around new companies and how many go out of business, how many are founded. And it's just really hard. You can't survey for that. You've got to have a model that predicts that. And it's quite difficult to do, especially when the economy is undergoing big changes. So, and they've been working on that and are making progress on it. But the data we get is still well good enough for us to do our work. To the extent we have issues around data right now, it's about low response rates. That's happened all over really. Response rates are just lower to surveys now, both in and out of the government. And it's no great secret. We want higher response rates, and we need those to have, less volatile data. And the way to get that is to make sure that the agencies that collect the data have sufficient resources to drive higher response rates.
Yeah, they need to figure out new ways to do it, because it's just, this data is very old and antiquated, and I don't think it's not very accurate anymore. And the sad part is like, this data that they are collecting is probably the most accurate out of most countries in the world. Like, you look at Chinese data, it's false. Most of European data is false. Especially if some data has something tied to like a very politically sensitive issue, as an example, like emissions or anything like that. I mean, it's going to be skewed very much so.
Not a complicated problem, but that's what it takes. It's not a mystery. That's what it takes. The other thing I'll say, Edward, is in the case of the job creation, the response rate is quite low for the first month, or lower for the first month. By the time you get to the second or third month, you're still collecting responses for that last month, for that prior month. And you get to the place where the data are much more reliable by the second and certainly the third month. So it's not that we don't get the data, it's just that we get it a little later.
But for the benchmarks, if that holds, it's 51% of the jobs that we thought were there weren't really there. Shows a weaker job market coming into this year. If you had that,
51% of the jobs we thought we had, we didn't have. Damn. Wow. I think that's probably a perfect place to stop it right there. It's just, this entire time he's been getting a lashings because the data's wrong. Their consensus is wrong. They've been lying. I mean, like, it's mostly just been all lies. I'm happy they're cutting finally, and it's been long overdue. The market's happy about it, but like, these cuts should have started happening in January of this year, and he would be under much less pressure right now. I think things would be in a much better position right now. I think the stock market still be at all-time highs, but probably higher. Bitcoin and crypto higher. They've really just, I mean, there's almost no way around it besides the point that they're playing a political game. And even with this interest rate cut they just recently did right now, they still let the balance sheet run off. So like, to me, it shows that the Fed is afraid there's going to be a major crash happening at some point for the economy. And they're trying to lower interest rates, but not lower them too much in order so they have enough bullets in the chamber. Like, hey, we're going to lower 300 basis points to zero, as well as they keep letting the balance sheet run off, which is actually destroying money supply. But by them lowering the interest rates, it still allows like new money supply to still be created, because more people, it's basically demand inflation, or like, if there's demand, people take loans, money's being created basically out of thin air. So, because the banks just created out of thin air. But yeah, man, we got someone in the studio right now.
Boom. Tough acting tonight. That John Madden movie's coming out soon. So
wait, is that yeah.
Just make random John Madden noises. I should probably put John Madden on the soundboard, right? But
I have a very loud Madden noise. It's
I didn't know you had a Madden. Oh, yeah. The old Fox Sports there.
That's iconic, man. That one's iconic, man.
I do have one bit of breaking news. I think.
Okay.
This is the first I heard of it, and I just saw it come across my feed here or whatever. But you called it also. This was, I think you talked about this in 21, 22.
Okay.
Which is, so MetaMask has their stablecoin, right?
Yes.
Apparently, Joseph Lubin today has said that MetaMask is going to come out now with their own actual token, which you were talking about in
a long time,
many years ago.
It was reported to have was going to happen, and they decided against it. Probably, that was supposed to be the biggest airdrop of 21. Was the MetaMask airdrop, which just didn't happen now. And then tons of people, even I did a couple transactions. I was doing some. You would use MetaMask swap, so maybe and the fees are terrible on it, but people were doing it, so they maybe I would do a certain amount of transactions, and that counts me for a certain tier of airdrop, So I know tons of people that did so many transactions on a ton of wallets. Nothing happened,
Until now.
That's right.
Yeah. But so I think that's pretty exciting. There's a lot. I think it's like you see every product and different type of thing kind of coming out now this cycle because everything that everybody was planning, they're like, there's not that much time left. We got to come out with it now if we're going to come out with it this cycle.
Yeah.
I mean, the Fed's helping out a ton.
I almost wish they could. A lot of stuff's happening right now. Should have been happening in second quarter.
Oh yeah, no, everything that's happening now.
We're really behind the 8 ball right now.
It should have been at the beginning of the year. But I think one of the reasons for a lot of the delay is in terms of the crypto side is because everybody's kind of waiting for the regulations to come in from the first 6 months of Trump's administration. So but I think like you were saying, if the Fed does 50 basis cuts for the rest of the year, 25 and 25.
Or a 50. Or
150. I talked about that yesterday on my show about a 50 possibility in October.
Wow.
Just looking at the volatility on the M2 money supply and everything with that. But
that's a beautiful chart, by the way. That M2, that's
pretty good.
I mean, you can't do it 100%, but it's kind of looking like it's shaping that way.
Yeah. And even Coinbase in their last report agreed with what we had come to the conclusion of, which is the 110-day offset is pretty much the most accurate over the long term. With correlation to Bitcoin from the M2.
Right.
And right now it's like almost in lockstep. So, and what does it do from here? It goes up and to the right. So,
there's dips though. Remember,
yes,
there's dips.
Well, there's going to be a lot of dips.
That's why we have the cash out course because we are going to get the opportunity. Now we were able to the cash out course to get take trading opportunities on certain coins, but just not the overall market more or less because there just wasn't a big enough sustainable hit to actually take. There's 5 or 10. If you want to, you could have, but not really. But we are going to get a fourth quarter dip at some point that'll be substantial, and I think a recovery after that. Probably no new all-time high for the year. Past that new whatever the all-time high is, probably sometime in late October or November or something like that. But and then probably another dip somewhere in early January and another opportunity to. And a lot of people are going to be scared. That one's the really scary one for people because hey, we're in 26 now. It's all over. Why you guys? That's going to be the. I know they're going to call it the Jewish fake out or something.
Where's the music when we need it?
I know.
I'm trying to think of once you play the song, what are the dance moves to that song even?
Dun 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 dun.
They just go like this.
Yeah, it's
okay.
But they do conga lines, and then they do it's usually. And I think they do for weddings. They have people on chairs,
and then they go in the tunnels in New York.
Well.
But anyways, back to crypto. What were we saying? No, but no, I think the dips along the way will be good, but. Kind of like you said, if the Fed cuts kind of lead to more money printing from the United States, that'll add on to the liquidity that's already
global M2.
Well, that's what I'm saying is it's already going to add to the liquidity that's of the global M2. And so, we've already been basically holding up this market on global M2 plus, what do you call it? Wall Street buying into crypto as whales. And so I've been saying this on my channel, which is when whales come in, they splash, the chart goes up a lot, and then it slowly comes down because people are taking profits.
Right.
But if you get consistency with people coming in because all of a sudden retail has more money again, then you're going to get that much more explosive bull market and kind of I wouldn't say a continuation of a 6-month bull market, but something more similar to what we got from October of 23 to March of 24, which was a nice, perfect 6-month alt season that we had. And if we can get that one more time going from basically now into next year, that would be really smooth.
4
more hours. Hot dog. No. There's a story.
Did you ever tell the story? Oh, you did.
I didn't tell the story. Did you?
No.
I told Kyle.
Yeah. That was so. I felt so bad for you because I was like, my ears were hurting across the table.
I was right next to him.
I was like,
dude.
as I was laughing, looking at you, I was like, no, you're. But you can't complain when someone rolls like that.
Yeah,
hour and a half.
Yeah, I think it was like I couldn't even I didn't even know how long it was. It just felt like almost like 2 hours.
Yeah, it was. The
guy just would not stop. He hit all the bonuses once, and then he hit.
He almost hit him twice.
Yeah.
But he kept getting reset. But he kept reset. The best time to get a 7 is at least when the point's off. Because he would keep his 7s kept happening on the point off.
And when I told Kyle the story and I tried to reenact the Southern accent or whatever, I was like, for some reason, I'm really good at copying the dirty South Kentucky accent. I don't know why. I'm like, does Minnesota have some relation here? No.
Can we at least get a 4x? I think you will get 4x's on certain coins. It's not the big majors, and you're not going to get Bitcoin 4xing or Ethereum 4xing, but
Avalanche.
Avalanche
is cooking right
Avalanche
now.
is cooking.
Avalanche is just Avalanche. I think is I don't know what the price is right now. Last I looked, it was under $33. It might be above that now. And it's going to 60, and then it's going to go to 90, and I think next year it'll hit past 120.
Yeah.
How much is it today? It's gone up today. I know that.
Yeah, it's up 14% on the day, $34.
Oh, yeah, yesterday I said on my channel, if you want the best price on it, grab it under $33.
Yeah.
You get a 2 to 3x, I think, within this year on that.
Even on local high right here, it's at 54 or was that $60? So it still could 2x, and then especially with how big the run is, it can go higher than that. I mean, it could go to 100. It's possible. It's totally. We have enough time now, especially now knowing we got 2 more cuts to 1 more cut and a very large cut. Wow, that just makes things more bullish. Somebody asked in the chat, is cuts good for retail? It's good for everybody.
Yeah,
it's good for everybody. But it's retail.
Retail
that has money or assets.
Yeah, retail does the best from just blatant money printing.
Yes. Where there's so much money that people just give jobs for anything. They just hiring.
We get the $1,000 in the mail.
Yeah, in 2001, it was more the employee had more power because everyone was competing for workers. Now, right now, the employer has the power now.
Yep. Which is what they like.
Because they can keep. They're not trying to pay you as much. But one thing interesting that the Fed did say is that if you do get a job, the firings are actually not happening much. They're actually keeping people on. So we are heading towards a talent market where either you're the best at mass marketing something or you're the best in that industry and you're kind of you're a known entity. So you have a brand.
Yeah, and that's going to get exacerbated by AI crazy, right? It's going to be pretty much that plus be able to what do you call it? Orchestrate that with AI. If you can be one of those A people and orchestrate it with AI, you'll pretty much manage the ship.
Yeah.
If you're a low tier worker, but you're willing to work for cheap, right? And then you are able to use AI, you'll be able to increase your skill set.
Right.
If you're in that middle zone where you're a B level, C+ level student, you're kind of getting, squeezed.
You're better off starting a side hustle now to create some sort of business that you can scale with AI, or got to figure something out. Because one of the big things there's a lot of complaints now, even on the visas, the H-1B visas and stuff with hiring all the Indians. Is that the
complain about that?
Yeah, right. Well, that's
Japan's no.
First time in 100 years they're waving the fucking rising sun.
No, they do that pretty consistently, but it's the first time they've done it on global media, right?
Yeah, but that's the joke is when the holy shit, they're asking for the emperor to return to power. Holy shit!
around the emperor's palace in the center of Tokyo, what my first headhunting company that I worked for was just a couple blocks away from there, and I would always go on a run around the emperor's palace in the center of Tokyo. It's the most expensive real estate. I think it's one of the most expensive, top.
Especially in the 80s, it was most expensive on the planet.
Well, I think it still is pretty much one of the most expensive. But yeah, in the 80s, it was the most expensive on the planet. But I think it's a 5-kilometer run, something like that. But anyways, whenever you're running around there, every once in a while, you'll see these black vans, and they're these Japanese nationalist vans, and they're basically putting out rhetoric get rid of the foreigners, that kind of thing. And they'll if you kind of egg them on because you're obviously not Japanese, they'll yell at you. From their little car and shit. It's fucking hilarious. But there's that subset of Japanese culture that's always been alive, and Japanese have always been kind of okay, we kind of keep them at a distance. They can come into the country a little bit. Now they're they open the floodgates because they have to, right?
Yeah.
Because of demographics and everything like that. So it's like, if Japan can figure out a way to do AI and robotics to not let in the rest of the other Asian groups within Asia, they're like the Chinese, they're like, okay, I guess we got to kind of let them in, but the rest of them, you know, they legitimately don't.
It's about selective migration. That's why they're like, I don't know if it's 100% real, but that whole like breeding visa, damn near, it's not really a breeding visa, but basically, but you know, if you want immigration, you want rich people to immigrate, right?
Yeah. And I mean, they just like, I think when I was in Japan, I don't know what it is now, but the population of foreigners in the country was 2%. And half of that was Chinese, or maybe even 75%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Though. They're right there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of them. But yeah, no, Japan just, the main reason is not because they're like, oh, we hate all Chinese or we hate all Indians. Like, no, they get along just fine. They, for the most part, except for when it comes to geopolitics and stuff like that.
Showers.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But one of the things that they don't like is that disrupts the harmony of the society. And so when it disrupts the harmony of the society, like, you know, they don't understand the culture basically. And
they don't want to either, really.
Yeah. Like, I mean, foreigners are, notorious for not trying to learn the next language.
Yeah.
And Japanese is kind of hard too. But yeah. Damn, that would be fucked up if, I don't think that's going to be
if it
the
continues.
case.
Yeah. Like, I think what is it, in 100 years, like the population will shrink to something ridiculous. It's
then it's like they have to accept the Koreans.
Yeah. And then and the whole potato too is like, once we lose King Jong-il, right? Who takes over? The sister?
No, China probably.
Yeah, it's something's about to happen there. Like at some point, he's still young, right? He is young right now still, so he'd be fine. But like, I don't trust that bitch as far as I can throw her. My God, she seems like she's gonna poison you or kill you. Like, have you seen her eyes, bro?
Oh no,
one of the craziest looking chicks ever, dude.
No, she does.
Crazy.
She looks like a serial killer.
Yes. No, she probably is. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, knowing exactly, knowing that family for sure. But it's kind of crazy how South Korea is like completely different. But it's interesting to kind of look at how other countries deal with immigration and stuff like that, especially Japan, because it's a homogenous society, right? But I think a lot of people in America, they basically say like, if you're against or if you're like don't like immigration, you're racist and I think it's not like that, like, because Japan, it's mostly the harmony of society. And so like for America, I think it's okay to have standards to let people into your country, right? Like, it's not like, okay, the whole world just can come here and it's absolutely free. Like, America has never been like that. You've always had to go through, the steps and everything like that. I think that's fair for any society. So I don't know. I just kind of get, because I had the point of view of what it's like from a totally different angle.
Right.
Like, I kind of get pissed off on how black and white American politics is on that particular issue. And we've talked about it before too, because like, of course there's going to be some illegal immigration, but it's like, as long as those people eventually kind of come into the system,
assimilate,
then it's going to be okay.
And America's the best at it, but like, it's still not perfect here. It's still, and the one problem is like, it's the concentration of those cultures. And now there's like, we have Chinatown down here, of course, and stuff or whatever. It's not really Chinatown. It's really like a fusion of like Korea and China and it's Asia Town, really. It's like Chinatown, but some
good Japanese ramen.
There's some good places down here and stuff like that. And like Vietnamese, Vietnamese restaurants, but and Thai restaurants and everything in between and stuff. So like, it's great. There's incredible things like that, but like, that's fine as an example. But like, the problem is like imagine like I take 100 million Somalians and put them in one small town. We have a problem.
That kind of sounds like what happened in my hometown in Minnesota. Like, literally. And there's a whole section of town in I'm from central Minnesota,
right?
And in that town by the university, like they kind of like in a
by the university,
a subsection of that area, they took over a lot of the low income housing. Basically,
the way it works is like you have to like spread, like the immigration has to, like where they live has to be spread apart. Like they have to commingle with everybody else in order to kind of break. So because like, at the end, like, no, we want their culture, but no, really, like you need to assimilate them in. So it's like imagine like as like I move into like a Japanese neighborhood as an example, right? And it's like all my neighbors are Japanese, or like there's only 2 other foreigners in our little block group. And
you
stuff.
don't even like rice, do you see? No.
Yeah,
and I'm driving an American V8.
I would get my car over there somehow, just to be obnoxious. But like, it'd just be fun. But actually, those cars are hella popular over there. Hugely popular, yeah. But it's because it's a flag. Same thing in Europe. If you drive around with a muscle car, oh my god, because nobody has muscle cars over there.
Yeah, in Japan, there's what do you call it? There's a whole like car racing subculture where on the weekends, the highways right outside of Tokyo, like everybody's like showing off their cars at like the car stops and stuff.
And Jesse, if you have only, we've had guys get into the CMC with only like $1,000 or $500. And you start. That's plenty to start off with, and trust me, like you'll do pretty well.
Yeah, and the way that I look at it for that is like 1K is kind of like a really solid amount because if you 2x the 1K, you pay for the cost of the course, boom, and you learn a lot. That's the minimum, like that's worth it, I think. But yeah, like even if you're just coming in to learn everything and you make a few X's, it's good.
So if you import third world into your country, you shall become a third world country yourself. If you overdo it, of course, right? Yeah. And then also too, there's also the problem is like, why aren't you guys fucking having kids? That's so. This you also have to take blame it yourself. You could blame it. You doesn't matter how rich or poor you can have kids. No, I mean, obviously your life standard. It's because you have a certain thing in your head of like what kind of lifestyle you want. But at the end of the day, you're failing your own race if you're not having kids. If you care about all that race shit,
yeah.
If you like, I'm not saying you want to have kids, don't have kids. But
have
like,
you eaten British food? I mean, those ladies, the ladies over there, they don't make that good. No,
I'm gonna say this. So the beans on toast is starting to grow on me a little bit. Like
I mean,
a tad.
We kind of done it before.
I like the bangers and mash. Yeah. Fish and chips.
Pie mash. Yeah.
Oh, Japan's got American Pontiac Trans Ams. Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Well, there's like a whole subculture there of all sorts of like different cars.
Yeah.
Like they even allow you to import cars with what do you call it? Like the American side steering.
Yep.
But like you have to do it. I forget. There's some like saying or not. What do you call it?
The crazy thing is that when I was a kid and stuff like I don't think my parents used like any welfare at all or anything. Ever, other than maybe just like going to the doctor for us kids or whatever the fuck that was, Medicaid or Medicare. But like to my parents and to a lot of my family, we thought that shit was like very gay. It was almost like why are we like you guys are that poor, you guys are using that stuff. So like my family tried everything they can not to use any of those services at all. But there's people that do need it. Of course, single moms and crap like that, of course, using it. But like, there's just a lot of that sort of shit. Like, at least where we were reared from and stuff, we tried not to use it at all. And if we did use it, got off it as fast as we could because it was like a shame. Like, you should be your business owner and stuff, and like, let's make this money. Why are you using these services, Wick and stuff? Yeah, like Wick. Like, I think most people use Wick a little bit when they're kids and stuff, and then that's it. And then you get it off of it. Like, it's crazy. People are like permanently using it.
Yeah,
that's insanity. Same thing with like public housing, or what do you call it, like Section 7 or what section? What was it? I forgot what it's called, like Section 8 or
Section 8.
Section 8, yeah, Section 8. It's insane. And then, but the whole system is also incentivized to like keep people single. I mean, we've talked about this red pill stuff already, but like the more people live in the house are like, this is this fucked up shit. Your rent's cheap to try to help you out, right? And then the moment someone gets a job, they increase the rent. So if let's just say you started making a lot of money, the rent would just explode upwards and stuff. So then it pushes this whole thing where like people are having their families kind of broken up, or the father doesn't live there or is secretly living there because if they knew on paper they're living there, like it's just this whole mess. The whole system has to be completely redone. It's insane.
Yeah, and a lot of the times when we get to that point where a system has to be completely redone, it's like it's more usual that the system just goes full tilt.
Yeah,
in one direction before correcting itself. It's like it has to break some like pretty significantly before people are like, all right, I guess we got to do something about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, which is unfortunate because you'd rather have people solve those problems in advance, but
definitely, man. So just for anyone who like, we're about to sign off right here, but Fed cut breakdown. We've got a 25 basis point cut today or yesterday, and it looks like we're going to get another 50 basis points of cuts, either with probably one on October and another one in December. So on the 29th of October, and I believe I think the 12th, if I remember correctly, on December. Let me see. The 10th of December. So we're either going to get a 50 basis points in October. That'd be really cool. Or 25. The way they've been so careful, they're going to string it along probably 2 25 basis point cuts.
Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting that at all. I thought 2 cuts, that's it. We're getting a third.
Nice.
Wow. That's so cool. So, yeah, so obviously we'll join us back right now. We're going to be on Charlie's channel within a few minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Bitcoin going to new all-time highs. Your favorite coins going to new all-time highs.
I don't
You
know.
get a car. You get a Lambo.
No.
Everybody gets a Lambo.
So definitely join us, you guys. Make sure to join the Citadel. And guess what? CMC goes live tomorrow. And actually, emails go out tonight at midnight.
Yep.
So thank you guys for joining us. That's the Fed Breakdown. Stay rich.
You buy this for $39.99. Guess what, folks? You take the L away. You put a W there, baby. You're a winner, man. You're the real deal. You're picking up chicks. Let me tell you something. You buy this set at $39.99, baby. You're the cock of the walk, man. You walk into the bar and you just find the hottest chick and you go, you, me. Guess what? She says, why would I go out with you? Because I bought the deal on Wild West Deals for $39.99. That's why. She says, can I go home with you? That's how simple it is. That's how it works. That's what this set brings to the table. Because you know what she sees? She sees a man who knows what he wants. She sees a man who says, good deals don't get by me, baby. I move. I act quick. I act now. I go to wildwestdeals.com. Boom. That's why you're hanging with chicks all night long. That's why you got guys like Michael Jordan calling you, wanting to hang out with you, baby. Because you bought it for $39.